back here. All right. Well, first of all, welcome, John. Remind me what your character's name is again.
Sir Roderick Morgan, Paladin of St. Cuthbert.
Sir Roderick. Gotcha. And we will get you in right away. Pretty much. I'll kind of just get you in as fast. You're gonna get right into the action here. There we go. So, I'll pick up right where we left off. So the group of you had returned from retrieving the wyvern's eggs. You had two eggs that you brought back, and one I believe that you ate, like scrambled it or something like that. I think you ate one of the one of the wyvern eggs.
We ate one because it was cracked and it wasn't going to come back anyway.
Yeah. And then let's see. And then after so then you returned and brought the eggs to Rufus and Burn, the wizard Burn, and were rewarded for your efforts. And of course you also brought back a numerous pieces of like body and stuff like that from the wyvern, and sort of we're hoping to do some things with those. We kind of worked out. Did we already work out kind of selling some stuff?
Yes.
I think we did.
We did? Okay,
Really?
we did all that. Maybe?
I don't
I'm
remember.
pretty sure we did.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we did the eggs.
Yeah,
stuff,
we divided up the value amount so that he could get the treasure XP last time, and then we all basically knew how much he would
Yeah,
get.
I remember now.
Right.
Yeah, we did that.
So, I believe that we left off with all of you heading on over to the Welcome Wench to relax and kind of recuperate. And I think the plan was to spend a couple of days there. That was just something we had talked about online. So maybe we can kind of discuss that a little bit right now. Do you want to take a couple of days of downtime to do various things, and maybe we can just go around the horn here and see, what y'all might want to do with that downtime? I know Gray Ash wants to spend some time in the books trying to learn some stuff.
My natural habitat, it seems.
How many days did you need? Because I think it was mostly set on you.
It was literally 2 days. It's two spells, so like 1 to 2 days.
Okay. I'll say the first day that you get there, you can, when you return to the town, you can spend that rest of that day and be able to finish up that, do one spell that day and then one spell the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Did you already roll?
Yeah, I got both of them.
Yeah, all right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I can do damage now.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit. What's Brother Rygar up to when you return back to town?
I wanted to see if there was a person in town that can make that flute out of that big wyvern tooth that I collected.
That's right. That was
And
such
I have
a
to
cool
go.
idea.
I have to go get 50 gold from my tithe, so I'll go visit the church while I'm at it.
Well, it's interesting because, there is the Church of St. Cuthbert. Are you going to donate your money to St. Cuthbert? I mean, he's a good god, and you worship a good god, but...
Well, I think I'd rather just go around and see if any poor or people that need it, and just hand that out to who I see fit through the town.
Yeah, so I believe that we did this once before, but if you recall, the Church of St. Cuthbert in Hommlet does work with the poor, and they have a charitable operation. And I believe the last time you were in town and you had to tithe, you specifically gave money to that cause to help feed, clothe, and care for homeless and invalids and the needy. So we can kind of just say that you're able to do that. And if you want to put in some legwork yourself as well over the next couple days, you're more than welcome to do that. What's JB doing? And please don't make me run an hour of side quests while AAB's running around stealing from people or something.
No, he's not stealing nothing. In addition to retelling the story of how he almost single-handedly slayed the wyvern, he's he's looking to see if there's someone in town who can turn his wyvern stinger into a weapon.
That might be the same place.
And also, since we had a couple days in the wyvern cave, or at least one whole day, I've got 6 wyvern teeth and 6 wyvern talons. And if there's a buyer for those, there's a seller for those.
Let's see here. I mean, you could probably sell the teeth and claws to Burn. I mean, he'll take that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Or alternatively, you could sell them to the weaponsmith, who might be interested in them. And I am trying to get the details on that right now.
I mean, if the weaponsmith would be able to make a weapon out of my stinger, then I would outright give him half of my stash and offer to sell the other half at a reasonable price.
If what?
If he can make some form of dagger or short sword out of my stinger, then I would give him 3 teeth and 3 talents outright, and offer to sell the rest of them at a deep discount.
Okay, let me see here. I'm really having some trouble finding, this is what I was looking for. Okay. All right, so the blacksmith is actually the blacksmith, weaponsmith, would probably be the one to be able to forge something like that for you. That's right across from the Inn of the Welcome Wench, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And the smithy works mostly in making, predominantly, came to town to make horseshoes and help for banding on wagon wheels and all that kind of stuff. But since Burns Badgers have started to play a role, the mercenary force that operates out of Burn and Rufus's Tower, and that has kind of clashed a bit with the local militia, has been making more weapons. Probably help you. So Brother Smythe is okay. So we'll say you can visit Brother Smythe. He'll take you up on that offer. If you're willing to do that. It will take some time to make such a short sword.
To speed things along, we can just say if he can do it, then we'll just say he's doing it for the duration of this session. We can talk about it offline.
Yeah, we'll talk about it offline then. Yeah, it's gonna take probably a couple of weeks.
That's cool.
And trying to figure out who might be able to build this. Build this flute for you, Brother Rhaegar. If anybody. If that might be a more long-term kind of situation.
Save it for later.
Yeah. I'm trying to think here. I almost feel like the jeweler is kind of close in terms of what. Let me see, is the woodcutter somebody who actually has No, the woodcutter wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah, I think you're gonna have to hold off on that. You're gonna have to just keep it in mind and look for maybe like a bard or something to come through town, or somebody who has some expertise. I mean, you could get it done in Verbabank if you have a chance.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah. You can hold off for a nominal fee on top of whatever any costs might be associated with it. Burn can also orchestrate getting it sent off to Verbabank, getting it taken care of, and ultimately transport it back to you. That'd probably take a good month, though.
That's fine.
For that. And we can do that offline as well, like what the costs and stuff would be on that, because I don't feel like spending much of this session researching the price of making a custom-made flute.
Good deal.
But I'll do it in between. That's totally fine. And then, what is Ren up to during this period? Do you want to kind of spend time around the Druid's Grove and like in that kind of area?
Yeah. I'm gonna spend
area?
a little bit of time around there, do some hunting with the mutt.
That Mastiff is hardly a mutt.
Yeah, right now it's mutt.
It's well trained, though. Well trained.
So probably, if it was a hunting dog, we're finding out its abilities, and that's pretty much it. I didn't do anything fancy or whatever. Maybe picked up some arrows because I needed some, and that's about it.
All right, and then finally, player's handbook pricing on that. What about Tuctrin?
So I'm gonna initially spend some time attaching parts of the wyvern to my armor, little pieces that I grabbed, the scales and whatnot. Just kind of adorning my armor, helmet, shield, that kind of thing.
Right.
Almost like a trophy kind of a situation. And that's gonna be for day one, is what I'm gonna spend time on. If it takes more than a day, let me know.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that you could essentially take as much time or as little time as you want on.
And I have the armor smithing on it, proficiency.
Yeah.
So I'll do that day one. And day two, if everything is still kind of all is quiet, I want to try to spend the day just observing, trying to get a count of how many mercenaries may or may not work in the area, kind of comings and goings. Are they competent? Are they training? Like, who are the leaders? Like, just reconnaissance, basically.
Okay. That's actually a really interesting idea.
Times of shifts. Do they send out certain groups to certain areas? Do I see more guys going west than east? Just any information I can get over the next couple of days while I do this armor. I'll sit outside and work on my armor and watch, and just kind of keep an eye out on things, and post up at different parts of the town, walk around by the riverside, just kind of everything.
All right. Let me see here. So, let's see here. I'm just going to write this in here just because.
Keeping a close eye out for Frank.
Yeah, he's in the stocks right at the center of town. People are like throwing tomatoes and shit at him, like, because he's such a prick.
I would like to spend some of my time buying old vegetables as well.
Yes. I may or may not put rocks inside of rotten tomatoes and hand them out.
Nice. So you kind of you do some of that, Tuctrin, and one thing that you kind of notice is that there was that pair of mercenaries that had come into town, and they had gone off to fight the Wyvern, to which your group was ultimately the beneficiary, considering that that you got their stuff inside of the Wyvern's, like, bones, and inside of their bones, and the Wyvern's basically shit was like hidden these treasures. And then of course you remember you had the opportunity to encounter the other mercenary group. What were their names again? They ended up, I don't want to say they betrayed you, but they kind of took off. Cobert and Taruko, the monk and the fighter who were in your group. But for the most part, it seems like, and you're not really seeing a lot of other travelers, but there's definitely a hard press by Rufus, Burn, and the Badgers to like recruit these people into their ranks. So like, it seems like they have money to spend, and they're like certainly building up their force. So that would be the main thing I would notice. So I would say that you noticed. And they're kind of solidifying the town in a lot of ways. Well, that's actually not true. I shouldn't say that. They are solidifying their part of the town, which is the tower and then the area where they're building the new castle.
Right.
And I'm going to say, you know what? Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay. I rolled a 2.
Ooh, that's really good. Okay, so you actually happen to also notice some of the other businesses or places in town seem to be maybe sympathetic to Burn's Badgers, and there seems to be some comings and goings in that regard, like the Church of St. Cuthbert, for example. You notice, and maybe Brother Rygar would have noticed this too, because he spent a couple days there, but like Burn's Badgers are like part of the guard force of the Church of St. Cuthbert as well, even though that's on the far side of town. That's in the northwest corner of the village, basically. Let's see here. This is kind of a little funny, but the Weaver and Taylor are also, they seem to have a good relationship with Burn's Badgers. Like they, let's see, the Weaver and the Taylor are kind of in the central part of town. And I'll mark them on the map since you're kind of pulling them out of. Let's see here. This is Taylor Shop. Kind of a small little tiny dot there, but can you see those? Barely, basically.
No.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really small. Like if you look at the into the Welcome Wench and you follow that like road at the track north, you can see the Weaver and the Taylor sign. It's like near the blacksmith.
Yeah.
But those seem to be like allied with. I mean, I don't want to say allied, but like you notice that they seem friendly with. Yeah. Like Burns Men's come and they seem like really friendly and stuff. Whereas others, maybe there's a little bit of like animosity, I guess you might say. I mean, animosity is maybe a strong word. Standoffishness, let's say that. You know, like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like a military force that's like building up that's not really associated specifically with the town, that's like walking around the town. You know, like soldiers from a different army, almost in a way. Even though Burn and Rufus are actually technically on the town council, it just seems like a little bit weird.
Okay.
Or I shouldn't say it's weird. You can decide what it is. It's notable to you. I guess what I would say.
Okay. Sounds good.
So other than that, a couple days pass, and we'll say that you ultimately end the evening of the second day. Maybe all.
Rob, I'd like to buy a mule, saddlebags, a saddle, a pack saddle, and like two warhammers.
All right, so the warhammers you can get at player's handbook pricing.
Yeah.
Everything else is at 120% from the asshole traders at the trading post.
120%. Okay.
And they are as unfriendly as you recall.
Yep. I've got to have actual warhammers for my spell components for spiritual hammer.
Are they expended?
Yes.
What the fuck, really? That's an expensive. That's an expensive spell, man, if you got to do that every time for a first level spell.
It's a second level.
Second level
second
spell. In one more level, I can cast it once a day for free.
Does that spell say that they have to be full size actual warhammers?
It says a normal warhammer.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty much about as
Terrible.
definitive as you get in a second edition spell description.
I think we used to make little warhammers for ours.
Yeah.
Yeah. And use them. But it's a pretty cool spell.
Mini warhammers.
Yeah, for components. They were warhammers. They were just little bitty. You could tote around 10 or 20 of them.
So go find some that maybe a halfling cleric would use.
Yeah. They're a little bit smaller, aren't they?
Maybe a little bit smaller.
There's just little tiny warhammers flying through the sky, smashing your enemies. Hey, what's up, little warhammer?
That's amazing.
All right,
That's so much different than magic stone.
All right, so on a slightly overcast evening, with the moon just breaking barely through the clouds, and the stars twinkling here and there through breaks within as well. All of you find yourselves back at the Inn of the Welcome Wench, where you kind of have been meeting up. I believe that in fact, let me recount. Let's go back over your sleeping accommodations. Most of you, I believe, were staying in a. In fact, here you were staying in a. I fucking swear if I open this goddamn window one more time, opening the same damn window. I think I can ping you on this. I think you took over this room from Zert. You took Zert's room.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
But was
did.
everybody staying in there?
No, I had a private
I had
room.
my own room.
I
Same.
also had my own room.
I guess I took it over.
Those of us who did not take a vow of poverty have private rooms.
All right. Have I revealed those on the map? I can literally not even see.
Mhm. Am I able to upgrade my gold to platinum?
Weight becoming an issue for you, brother?
It's just so much gold.
Uh,
Can I upgrade my
so-
platinum to
Yeah.
mithril?
Oh, actually, you know what? The funny thing is, it literally is a money changer in town.
Yeah.
If you
I know.
recall, right when you walked in, or at kind of near in the northern part of the town, we're basically right across from the trader. There was a money changer, and let me see what their rates are.
Oh god.
That's
1-to-1, yeah.
10% of the value.
Hmm.
So
How
like
many-
110 or 100 platinum
Hmm.
piece worth. That's a racket right there, man.
How many gold to mithril? Is that a thing? Is it both? Is
Dude,
mithril
I
above
have
platinum?
no idea.
I don't even know if that's an actual thing. It might be a house rule.
Mithril coins. I mean, it's not coinage. Like, you couldn't go into the store and be like, I'll how many mithrils is this?
I'm gonna only pay in copper. I'm sorry.
All right, so yeah, I mean, so if you want to, you can exchange. I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, I'll just
The
take
10%.
10% off my.
You
How
can
much I've
change it for
already changed?
gems. Same rate, 10% if you want just gems, so that way you have lighter. Up to you. God, I swear our viewers out there must be like, what the fuck? This is so boring. Well, what can they... I mean, we just had the epic wyvern fight last time. I mean, it's not always
Right.
going to be great. Come on.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask. Niles Reckless Dwemer. Do I need to actually memorize that shit, or can I just always get it? Because if I actually have to remember that, I'm never going to.
I think
That's
you
the
have
one
to
that always
memorize it.
fails. It always
Well,
fails.
it doesn't always fail.
It
Don't
always
you, as you
fails.
level up, don't you get more control over it?
It always fails. I think you get like
Can't you
+1
move it
to the
on the chart
outcome.
per level or something like that, so you have more
Yeah,
control
but,
over
like,
it?
how do you actually pass that roll? I don't think any of the outcomes are like you cast the spell.
Yeah, they are. There's lots of them that are cast a spell.
No.
I don't know, dude. That's all. You're the wild mage. You figure that shit out.
Ah.
Yeah, you would need to memorize it.
Never happening again.
It is a little bit of a weird spell. All right, so yeah, you all find yourselves at the inn of the Welcome Wench, and you know, I don't know what you're eating, but of course, as usual, they have the elaborate sort of meals, and you know, you can smell the delicious scents of, like, you know, mushroom stuffed pork loin and braised beef tips and all the kind of good stuff. You know, there's a lamb stew over the hearth that's cooking. The place is pretty busy, as it, you know, pretty typically is. Let's see. The village elder is not in the tavern this evening, but you do actually notice Mitch the Miller, who is one of the other elders who seemed to be a little bit anti-Burn and Rufus, and was a little bit hostile, I guess, in a lot of ways, even kind of towards y'all. But you know, when he sees you, you're kind of all gathered at a table. Maybe you're ordering food and drink and stuff like that. Maybe Grey Ash, maybe you've come down from your studies to join them, and all of you are there. And you know, the portly man, the obviously working man, you know, this is calloused hands, thick calloused hands, big thick mustache and beard, and well worn features. He kind of comes over to you, looks very severe. You're not quite sure if he's about to, like, yell at you or fight you or whatever, but he walks up and he says, "Heard you made work of the wyvern in the woods."
Yes, we did.
He says, "Anyone here will tell you, you've earned my respect, and that means something around here." He says, "I thank you for doing that. I know some of those farmers to the north. Good folk they are. Salt of the earth. True to the spirit of Hommlet. You've done well."
I know.
Thank you.
Well, let's just hope everyone takes advantage of not having it around.
And you won't offend us with cash.
Make a charisma check there, JB. Let's see if he's taking your snarky remarks comically or annoyedly.
11, which is my charisma, so I just got it.
That's perfect, actually, because it's sort of like he's like kind
Sort
of
of
on
like,
the
okay,
edge of like,
You're being
Yeah.
a dick, but it was kind of funny.
like, does he want to punch you in the face right now or whatever? But he's like, all right, well, y'all enjoy your nights. Thanks again.
Yeah, we got you.
And he heads off. And like, they're like, I mean, it's not like you're the heroes of the town or anything like that, but I mean, you certainly are in the good graces of like the local populace now. JB's, in particular, seems to be the most, I don't know. They're like, you hear people talking about how like JB single-handedly killed the wyvern. There's like kind of like those stories. Apparently, like, knocked to the ground, he fired a shot across the creature's lair, single-handedly slaying the beast, saving all of his companions.
I wonder where they heard that from.
As I hear these stories, as I'm drinking and listening to the music, and I hear these stories of how JB did this, I am going to tell them that these stories are true, and JB is quite the fearsome combatant, and any in the area who wish to test his mettle should beware, because they are truly not strong enough or worthy enough for the fight.
So you're doing a little bit of counter programming here to the.
Oh no, I'm hyping him up, and I'm just.
Oh no, I know, but I understand
I'm
what you're doing.
Yeah, putting everybody on notice that JB is a killer.
That's funny. Oh God, I forgot what I was gonna say. So I mean, yeah, there's a bit of that talk and everything like that, and let's get John into the game here. Let's get Sir Roderick into the game here. So, it is evening. And do you have a horse?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you come riding into Hommlet, and we can. I'm going to do a little role play here with you. I want to get a little chance to sort of figure out a little bit about your character. So, you head up to the Church of St. Cuthbert, which is actually in the north, heading south from Verbabunk, entering into the village of Hommlet. It's kind of like there's sort of a hill that looks down into the village a bit, and the river is at the bottom of the hill, and the center of the town is kind of down at the base. And as you're riding the town, it's night, it's becoming evening, and you decided to kind of push it to the evening. So like the sun is already set, but there's a little bit of that afterglow. And in the east, kind of this, again, it's kind of a beautiful, it was a beautiful sunset because of the cloud cover and everything like that. And you can see like down in the center of town, like most of the shops and stuff have closed up, but you can see lights on, smoke rising from people's homes, smoke's rising from their chimneys, and the smells of people cooking and cook fires and cook pots. And you can see down sort of at the town center, it's a bit lit up, and you can kind of sort of see like a central, almost like a town square area. And up at the top of the village in the northern part is the Church of St. Cuthbert, which is actually a newer construction. You would know this, I mean, as being a paladin of St. Cuthbert, but it's a newer construction, and it's essentially like two wide, long buildings that are connected by a a hall, you might say, that has like stained glass and open windows on it. One end is like the church. One end of so it essentially forms like a sideways H, like a sideways capital H, and the northern portion of that is the kind of like the quarters where the priests and acolytes and those who are attendants to the church live. There's like the central sort of hall area where kind of people like gather and would talk and everything. That's sort of between those two places. And then there's the church itself. The Church of St. Cuthbert is always essentially open, and it overlooks the town. So you can imagine that if you were sitting down in the center of town, you could look up the hill and you'd see the Church of St. Cuthbert, which would be particularly notable during the day because the light is sort of shining off of it, but especially at like sunrise and sunset, it'll be like the first building that has light cast upon it in the mornings, and then the last building to which the sun sets on. You would notice that the stonework is not local. This has been imported stonework that's been made for the temple, and again, it's less than a decade old. Let's see here. The church. At this point, since it is kind of evening time, as you're coming into town, the temple is sort of like, or I don't want to say it's closing down, but like there are gardens around it, like fruit and vegetable gardens, and like people that are kind of like at the temple, kind of being cared for, like are in the residential areas, and they're kind of all moving in, farming equipment and implements are being put away. Everything is kind of being wrapping up for the night as like the last remnants of light approach. But you do see a man who is armored. He just has a breastplate on. The rest of it's like his sort of priestly vestments, and he seems to be kind of giving the orders. He's he would say maybe he's probably in his mid-late 20s human. He has the characteristic hat of Cuthbert, and he's got the long sort of mustaches as well. He looks hard and strong, from like being, the physical training that comes along with being a member of the Church of St. Cuthbert, but he also is quick to smile at the people that he passes by. You can sense a kindness in his blue eyes, and as you approach, the path goes right next to the church. So as you're coming in down the road, you and he kind of, your eyes, your gazes meet, and he looks up to you, kind of smiles. Do you have any visible? I mean, you have. I assume that most paladins of St. Cuthbert probably look like it. But maybe describe. Why don't you describe your character now? Actually, it's probably a good time to introduce.
All right. Very muscular young man in his 20s. A well-kept beard, a brown in color. I do have a nice shiny set of armor on. You can see that it has been adjusted by an armorer to fit me better than just your standard off the rack, out of the blacksmith set of armor. And I'm riding a bay.
Off the rack, I like that.
And it's I stand about 5'10" as I ride up to him and dismount.
Yeah, there's a hitching post right there.
Yeah, I'll just throw the reins over that and adjust my scabbard and belt, and say I'm the average size, steely gray eyes. I don't smile a lot. I have a very serious demeanor, and I look at him and say, How do I address you, Father?
No, he says, you may address me as Calmer. I am assistant canon to this church. He says, and you?
Calmer,
fellow
I
follower.
am Sir Roderick from Verbal
Roderick. It's my pleasure to meet a fellow devotee to St. Cuthbert. He says,
Yes, I've been sent to this area. There are reports of banditry in the area, so
yes.
I've been sent to clear the roads, perhaps, or make sure that the trade routes are open. Is there an inn in town?
He says, famous or infamous, depending on how you look at it. Yes, the Inn of the Welcome Wench. And he kind of points down to the village, and you can see like there's kind of one big central building. It's I mean, other than the tower. Oh, I should have said this. You can also see a big wizard's tower, the south end of the town. Literally a 4-story wizard's tower rising, and then there's a huge construction area that's happening too, and you can kind of see what the outlines, basically the foundations of a keep have been laid out in the south part of town. But he points sort of central part of town, and he says, yes, the Inn of the Welcome Wench. He says, to some, a beacon of light in the wilderness, to others a den of inequity and prices meant for travelers such as yourself. But either way, I call it a good bite to eat, and a place where you might meet fellow adventurers like yourself, and catch up on what is happening in the town and the area around.
As long as the beds are comfortable and the food is good, I think that'll be sufficient.
Well, I can make promises to neither effect. I have not spent time in the beds, and the food is dependent mostly on what you choose to order. But nothing to complain about for sure.
I'll give him a broad smile, and I'll clap him on the shoulder and say, well met then. Before I head down into the village to save hearts and minds, perhaps we should go inside where I can pay my respects to the saint himself.
Of course. He says, I have things that I must attend to, so I'll allow you passage to the temple for your own quiet contemplation and time for prayer with St. Cuthbert, of course. He says, please take all the time you need. And he kind of ushers you, points you to the doors of the church. It's not like a huge church, but it's certainly, I would say, like, you look at the town, right? And like, it's big for the town, but maybe it's kind of like, it almost feels like it was built for growth, in terms of, actually you would probably know this, or sense this maybe based on your reasons for being sent down here, that the Church of St. Cuthbert has plans for this region. They want to push the faith here a bit, and this investment in this church is a big part of it. And even kind of like, I mean, like there's the church is here, and then they're building this like keep, and it's kind of like the next frontier, the next kind of bastion of civilization and law. And inside is again, there's stained glass depictions of St. Cuthbert's, earthly. How was it pronounced? I found that out recently. It was got a weird pronunciation. Oerth. It's Orth or something like that. Anyway, of St. Cuthbert's deeds while living, kind of depicted all the way around, and then a large statue depiction of him in stone at the back, at the rear. And then there's kind of like a raised area for services, and there's, pews and all of that. There are places to, lay memorials, a donation box, of course, and bits of scripture and things like that you can kind of engage with as well.
I'll just go to the most quietest place I can find, like where a small altar would be, and I'll kneel and spend about 10 minutes in quiet contemplation and prayer before I stand and look about the place. Does it look well kept?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's impeccable. Like, the place is like, just in general too, and it's a really well-ordered temple. Like, again, it looks like it has lots of volunteers because the grounds are really well kept. Like I said, there's like fruits and vegetable gardens. There is actually a stable as well. And the church is like, it's impeccable. Like, it's really well clean. And you can see there's a couple of good acolytes. They kind of stay out of your way, so they're not really disturbing your prayer. But there are definitely like people attending to the temple even now.
All right. If I do see an acolyte, I will ask him, do you have a stables here at the temple, or do I need to go to town for that?
He says, yes, of course, Sir Knight. We'd be happy to take care of your horse for you.
Make sure he's brushed and relieve him of his weight of the saddle.
Of course, sir.
And I'll head outside. Would I know that is that cleric? Is he like the head of the church here, or the temple, or?
Well, so you would know. Do you have like religion?
I don't have religion. I'm more of the sword arm of the faith, I guess.
Well, you don't know then specifically, but he did say.
I do have local history.
Okay, we'll make a local history check.
Okay, that'd be a charisma. 10. My charisma is 17, so.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know that you recall that this church was originally, from your recollection, Canoness Ide was appointed head of this particular church. She wasn't who greeted you. And you also recall Calmer said that he was the assistant canon. But he didn't specifically mention Ide or who was in charge exactly.
All right. Well, as I go out, if he's still there, I will say, Calmer, is Canoness Ide in the area, or has she been called somewhere else?
He says, yes, Sir Knight, Sir Roderick, the Canoness has been away for some time on a special errand for the church. These days, the Canon Turjan has taken residence as our head priest, and he is well respected and regarded within the town. In fact, he sits on the town council as one of their as one of the deciding rulers of the place.
You will get him word then that I am here, and
of course.
If he needs me, I will be in town looking for lodging.
Very good. Yes, the Inn of the Welcome Wench can provide you with that as well.
Do you need any assistance here with anything?
He says, well, as you know, the faith always requires assistance, but it seems to me that you have been sent here for other purposes, so he says, I won't ask you to help out with the mundane chores of cleaning up after garden duties or sweeping up the stables, and he kind of gives you a smile, like a very genuine, friendly smile.
Well, I don't mind. Hard work is good for the soul. But if you change your mind, let me know.
So I'd expect no other response from a paladin of St. Cuthbert, of course, but no, please. Your place, your role, your destiny, it seems to me, is as someone who wields a sword, not a plow.
All right then. As I said, if you change your mind, let me know, and I will see you later.
All right, and he bids you farewell. So you're able to head down to the Inn of the Welcome Wench. It does cross over the river, which is like, it's a ford. It's not actually a bridge, but you cross over the river. And you pass by a number of different things. There's a trading post. There's a jeweler and money changer. Obviously a number of farms. And again, you're heading down into the village. So like you're kind of heading further and further, descending elevation. You spy a tailor, weaver. There is that village hall. Also looks like it's a newer construction. The building is freshly painted and looks to be of newer construction. But ultimately, you make it to the sort of central area of the town and see the Inn of the Welcome Wench. And let me go ahead and let's see here. I can give you the description from the box text. Why not read it one more time? The square wooden sign shows a buxom and smiling girl holding a flagon of beer. This must be the Inn of the Welcome Wench, a place renowned for its good food and excellent drink. Passing merchants make a point of stopping, as do many other sorts of wayfarers, and it is said that the place is always filled with patrons. And so is the case tonight, as you pass your way through the doors of the Inn of the Welcome Wench, and you see a number of different folks, from those who are likely locals, sitting at the bar and conversing amongst themselves, to traveling merchants and visitors here and there, to sort of one larger adventuring party sitting around a larger table. One of which seems to be boasting loudly of the exploits of someone named JB, who apparently is welcome to is ready to take on all comers, for surely he is the most masterful of all bowmen and warriors in the Southlands. Okay, and actually the man who is speaking of the merits of this so-called JB is in fact a dwarf. So why don't we go around? Why don't we go around and let's do our descriptions again, so that way Sir Roderick can know what he's looking at here. Why don't we start with you, Brother Rygar?
I think he's muted.
Brother Rygar is muted.
Yeah, so Brother Rygar is in his early 20s. He's a big strapping fella, 5'11", weighs about 210, brown eyes, dark red hair. He has oily green scale mails with the color of that? Yeah, oily green scale mail. He has a morning star on his side. He also has a quarterstaff that's hooked to his back, and he has the holy symbol of a bright sun in full flame. And he's probably just munching on a big turkey leg, drinking down some ale and rolling his eyes every time he hears some exploit of JB.
And let's actually, speaking of JB, describe yourself, JB.
All right. JB is sitting down in the middle of the 7-course dinner.
Oh, did you go with the super extravagant meal?
Of course. light gray skin, as he is a half drow elf with silver hair. Wears a cloak, but the hood is currently pushed down. A bow slung across his back, and wearing regular road clothes. Doesn't appear to be part of the let's talk wonderfully about JB conversation, but he is not really protesting. Definite
Ren.
half.
All right, go ahead, Ren.
You see a short guy. Well, he's not the shortest of dwarves. About 5'6". He has a bow on his back. He's pretty much sitting, eating his supper, and his leathers is like brown and green. He's got his brown hair. You could pretty much tell that he's a woodsman. Pretty much it.
And
Hold on.
how about
Do they allow the dog into the welcome winch?
hell no? Big ass
And that's all you see.
They probably found some accommodations for him at like the stables or something.
He's probably staying at the Grove. I think I talked to what is it, Juru?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, that's
Okay.
perfect. For sure. That would be totally fine. In fact, the dog is probably a lot more comfortable in that environment because he's staying with the hermit. You know what I mean? Not really used to being involved, like being surrounded by like tons of people all over the place. So, yeah, the Grove works out. And Greyash.
Greyhawk is a rather unsightly half-elf, buried under linen robes over winter clothing, ordained in satchels and backpacks and pouches, eating and drinking.
He might have a satisfied smile on his face after just learning a couple of new spells as well.
Yeah, but that is counterbalanced by me almost getting killed by a small hill.
That's right. I forgot. And then finally, the loudly speaking dwarf, Tuctrin Boulderguard.
Okay, so Tuctrin is about 4'8", so kind of like medium tall for a dwarf. He weighs about almost 170 pounds. He's pretty stout. He's his age is kind of hidden because he's wearing his full armor still. He's got tons of hair, very hairy dwarf. Beard, the mustache, the long hair. He's got a couple axes on his back, which are obvious, or hanging from his sides. Got a shield on his back. He's got throwing axes. I mean, he's in the bar, but at any minute he looks like he could be fighting. And he doesn't look like it's cumbersome to him at all. He also has a very strange weapon kind of dangling from his belt line that seems like a bunch of really heavy chain. It looks very odd to anybody who's not familiar with dwarven weaponry. But generally looks very friendly. And he is fervently drinking and telling the stories of JB the Mighty.
He might only be half an elf. He might be half an elf, but he's full man when it comes to fighting the wyverns.
He only got half, but he got the good half. The only thing that can make JB more mighty is if he had half dwarven blood.
And so I will say
down,
that
you're drunk.
obviously, just the group of you see Sir Roderick come in because he looks different than the rest of the rabble that comes into this place. I mean, he's armored, and again, it looks like he wears his armor like he knows how to wear it. It fits him right. It's not like he looks like a warrior. He's covered in the days in the dirt of travel, and he has weapons at his side. He certainly looks competent in a way.
Well, I'll spend a moment in the doorway just taking all that in before I approach the bar, and I'll drop my heater shield and lean it up against the bar and sit down on a stool. And is there a barkeep? Barkeep.
Yeah, so there's a bartender, and he Osler, the innkeeper, he's a kind of a fat man, but looks happy, rosy face, rosy cheek, maybe imbibing a bit in his own product here and there. A smock that's a bit covered in years of like food and drink. But he seems, friendly. He's kind of fat-fingered and all that, but he seems dexterous with the pour on the from the cask, and he he's attending to people. But as you kind of pull up to the bar, and you sit down at the bar, there is a man at the bar. He kind of has that local vibe, I guess you might say. That's sort of like darker curly hair, slightly lighter, like kind of lighter skin. He's mostly clean shaven, but he's got maybe a 3-day-old beard, kind of not a good looking beard, but like a 3-day-old beard. He smells heavily of ale, pretty drunken. A big man though. He's a big meaty guy. Like he's definitely muscular under all that fat. He's got kind of a fat look to him. And he says, "Oh," he looks to you. "Looks like we've got ourselves a paladin in here. St. Cuthbert sending you down here to deal with us rabble."
Well, I don't see any rabble as of yet, but
he pats
yes,
you, bangs you on the side of the armor, and definitely got some strength behind that slap on the back.
I'll take it as a good-natured thing, and I'll say, but I will be clearing out the rabble soon. Let me buy you a drink. 2 flagons of beer, barkeep.
All right, he comes on over. He says, "You heard the man, Osler. 2 flagons." And he holds up like 3 fingers when he says it. He says, "Well, good to meet you. Name's Elmo."
Hello, Elmo. Name's Sir Roderick. What do you do here in town?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. A lot of
I
that,
see.
actually.
I see.
A lot of that.
A lot of that going around here. Yep. I understand just what you mean.
He says, "Let me guess. You're here to make everything right, fix all the problems, do all the good.
Of course. That's what I do.
As long as part of that isn't sobering me up, you and I won't have any problem."
I have no need to sober you up right now. But on the holy day, I expect to see you at the temple.
Oh, now do you? What day is that? What day is it? Tuesday. Wednesday. The Lord's Day. Who knows?
Let's just make it tomorrow. Always good for the soul to get a little prayer in, especially for a big man like you.
He says, "To St. Cuthbert," and he raises the flagon that gets.
And I'll yell it back, "To St. Cuthbert," and I'll raise my flagon, and I'll clink his.
And he says, he says, "A lot of religious folk come into town lately." He points over there. He says, "That guy." He's kind of like his hands sort of moving, and he points to the dwarf, and he says, "He's been talking about some clapping, shiny beards."
Get clapped it again, yeah.
Clap it again, shiny beards.
Isn't he a bard?
Some
Eric Clapperton?
dwarven guy. And that's the sun. He worships the sun or something. That other guy over there. Couple, I don't know. They killed some wyvern, dragon.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah, apparently that one over there, and he sort of focuses super hard and ends up pointing right at the dark-skinned half-elf. Yeah, they say that one killed it all by himself, saved the whole rest of the party.
So he must be the leader then of that
He must
group
be.
of gentlemen.
He kind of like squints. He must be the leader. Look at him. I don't like the looks of him. What do you think? I think he needs some justice.
But what do you need justice for? He's
Just
done the
look at
town a
him.
favor, hasn't he? Well, I admit he probably is a little bit.
He's just trying to get into our good graces, right?
Well,
Right? And he gives you like a little.
Well, he's
Elbow.
definitely not as pretty as we are.
Osler, the innkeeper, says, now, Elmo, let's not bother the customers too much. He says, can I get you something to eat, or are you planning on spending the night? Do you need a room?
I do need a room.
So John, in the roll 20, there's a handout which I believe you should have access to.
Okay.
I think I already showed this to you. You guys can all see the there's an Inn of the Welcome Wench handout number 2, and it has a full menu of what you can get from them. It's like absurd, to be honest with you, like what it is, what you can get. So feel free to take a look at that in there. For those who are listening and watching at home who can't see this, some of the highlights include the 7-course meal, 7-course dinner for 2 gold pieces, an elaborate supper which includes pork loin stuffed with mushrooms or steamed sausage with roasted vegetables, and there's at least 7 different types of wine, including Ernst White, Balloonin Fire Amber, and of course Hommlet Reserve. Ooh, Hommlet Blackberry Brandy as well.
That is a dessert liqueur.
But if you're more of a, I don't know what Sir Roderick likes, but you can also get some milk if you need it to keep your bones and muscles strong.
All right. Well, I'll definitely order the plain supper. I don't want to overindulge, but always in favor of the local tradesman. I'll also have a large flagon of the Hommlet beer.
All right, Hommlet beer. Now, we'll just kind of take care of this little bit here, but you can get a private room if you want. For I believe they're. Let me see how much the private rooms. Basically, like 5 electrum to 1 gold per night, per private room. More expensive if you want to go extravagant, but I don't think that's probably Sir Roderick's style. I'm not really 100% sure, but I presume as much. But there is also a common room if you prefer to, save.
I'm not that devout. We'll save that for the cleric. I will. I will get a decent room. The standard gold piece a night.
Okay, great. I'm gonna mark all of your rooms then really quick, just so I have them, because you guys keep coming back here. So who has a private room and who's staying in Zert's former larger room?
JB got a private room.
Private room.
How much is Zerk's
I'm
larger
in the
room?
private room.
It's paid through the month.
I'll stay there.
How many beds are in JB's room?
1.
Okay. I'm upgrading from common to just a regular room. So yeah.
Okay,
When would
so
I get a private
just,
room?
so who is staying in Zert's room? Is it just Brother Rygar?
How many beds are in that room?
4.
Okay, I changed my mind then. I'm staying with. Wait a
Think
second.
so.
He keeps preaching.
Well, okay, so it doesn't say. Let me see
Yeah,
here.
I'll suck it up.
Yeah, I can stay in there. I mean, I'm used to staying in the barracks anyway.
Oh my gosh, 2. Oh.
I'm trying to. Okay. What is that? Is that? Okay, so it's a 15 by 20 foot room, so it's pretty big. It's just weird. Like, this got this fucking table in the middle of it from like underneath. It makes me so confused when I look at this map. But the well, I guess it's not really 4 beds. I guess it's like there was really only the 1 bed and then the extra bed, so it's like 2 beds and then like the table, and there's a hearth in the room. There's a fireplace in the room. It's basically one of the best rooms in the entire inn. That's paid through the month. So who's there? It's Brother Rygar and anybody else? Tuctrin? Okay, and then so Ren, Sir Roderick, JB, and Grey Ash all have private rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, you guys are
Yeah.
just taking
We're not
this.
really
All right, so
capitalizing on this, but
Oh, we're coming up in the money. You know, I can
yeah,
upgrade a
you
little
know,
bit.
you like to
They're splurging.
splurge.
I'm
need
trying
to
to be
buy-
like JB and be fancy.
Well, you
I
can
don't-
all see me reach into my pouch and look at my meager money and take a gold piece.
Well,
down and shove it
JB's
down.
famous now. He can't stay with peasants.
That's true.
Yes.
But I mean, I don't got to worry about buying spells, buying armor. I got nothing to do but spend my money on luxury items.
True. All right, so if you all look at the map of the inn, and I know people that are watching or listening to this can't see it, but essentially, on the second level, there are a number of rooms sort of on the south that are all kind of in the line. In the southeastern corner of the building, is a large room that was Zert's former room, and that's where a lot of you all are, or where Tuctrin and Brother Rygar are staying. The other 4, you can decide which one is yours, and you know which one, whose is whose. Here's one room. Ping.
You haven't changed the map.
Yeah, I'd say I'm looking at.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus
we still got the
Christ.
map.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm an idiot. Okay, there you go. You should have it now.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm pinging Brother Rygar and Tuctrin's room, which was formerly Zert. And then you have... Now, Zert, of course, was somebody who betrayed you. He was an agent of those who are occupying the moat house right now. Looks like Grey Ash has claimed this room. He's laying in bed. And then there's the 3 rooms down at the end of that hallway, all right next to each other.
JB will take the room on the corner.
Of course, JB would. Okay. And then so you can also.
Yes, you could say that bed's a bunk bed in that room.
Okay, that's what we'll say. That makes it easy. Thank you.
All right, as long as the room.
That's a
has
fellow game master helping a game master out right there, man.
As long as the room has a window, it don't matter which one I take.
Yeah, they all have a window. You see how there's that like little square at the bottom?
Mhm.
That's a window.
Yeah, making sure.
So they all have a window.
When I open it up and I see a brick wall.
No. So Elmo says to you, Sir Roderick, he says, come on. I gotta introduce you to these guys. they're hilarious. Come on. He kind of like puts his arm around your shoulders to like drag you over to the table.
All right. Back to the rooms here, just real quick. Those 3 on the end are the ones that are open.
It looks like JB has taken this one all the way at the end.
I
Mhm.
guess they're in the red pinged. I'll take that one if that.
Okay. That's perfect.
And like I said, I'm only paying for it for a night because I don't really. You can see I have very little gold. My pouch seems to be mostly empty. In fact, I can hold all that I own in one hand. So, but I'll pay for the meal, and my room, which I think came to that's a gold piece of 4 silver, and then I guess I'll go with the man. He's dragging me.
All right.
I'll grab my flagon.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So he drags you over, and he says, "Look, brother, Mr. Roderick, this guy, everybody here, he's a big knight. Sir Roderick, make a perception check."
Okay. 3.
Okay, so you notice that he kind of gives the group at the table a wink. And he says, "Brother Roderick, this is the, what do they call this? The fearsome fivesome? No, that's not what their name is. They're, Vengeance of Herbabunk. I don't know what they're called, but that one right there, he's the one that killed the wyvern.
The leader.
That one's a dwarf." Points to Buckman.
I like this one.
You say that one's the leader?
That one right there. And he points to JB.
Oh, is that what he says? Interesting.
Well, I'll approach the dark-skinned elf. Say, pleased to meet you. I've heard of your exploits since I've been in the tavern.
I'm just gonna give him a look. Nice to meet you as well. We couldn't have done it without my supporting cast. Laying it on very thick.
Nice to meet you, Sir Knight. I'm Brother Rygar, Flamehand of Nola. You can join us here and eat your meal with us if you wish.
Please.
There's plenty of room at the table.
Why, thank you. I'll do that. And I'll choose a seat.
Elmo says, "I'm always happy to pay. No, not pay. I don't like to pay. Play matchmaker. These guys like to go out and kill stuff, and I bet you do too. Perfect friends."
I see you
Gives you
met
a big
Elmo.
slap on the back. Thanks for the flagon. Roderick, make a, let's see, make a wisdom check, but make it at a, we'll say a -4 penalty.
11. Didn't make that.
Did not? Okay.
14 wisdom.
Yeah. Well, you don't notice the important detail then.
I look at Elmo and give him enough money for another ale and say, "Why don't you go and join Ale over there?"
I know. I'm not a big enough deal to sit at your table. Just always making matches and then they get nothing in return. He mutters.
Don't forget, Elmo, we do it for the little people.
Yeah, little people. You're a little. Show you little people. Dwarf is a little person. And he just goes grumbling off back to the bar.
Who's this guy?
I think Elmo tried to join
Everybody,
us the
you
last
all
time,
know.
didn't-
Yeah, you know who Elmo is. I mean, you talked to Elmo after that town council meeting
Yeah.
that was in the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
he was
nope.
Yeah,
Yep.
you weren't there. That's right. Grey
Yeah,
Ash was
I don't know
not
this guy.
there.
Like, who the fuck's this drunk guy?
So one thing I want to do once we kind of settle in before I go back downstairs, I want to search the room that we're in, that me and Brother Rygar are staying in.
Well, for now, you're just all eating dinner and stuff in the.
Right. Oh, okay. I thought
yeah.
we went up. I thought we went upstairs. Came back
No,
down. Okay.
I was just trying to get that all sorted out. Just because,
Okay.
like,
All right.
I kind of been taking it for granted that like you guys were like staying
Okay.
here for the long term, and I just
Right.
hadn't really like defined your
Mm.
spaces.
Okay. Well, FYI, I'm gonna do that when we go back upstairs.
You guys have
Already
already
looted that
searched it,
room.
and you found stuff.
Yeah.
You did search it already.
Yeah.
I know, but then we left and we came back, and I don't trust
Ah.
if somebody didn't. Yes. Now you know
Yeah,
why I'm
gotcha.
searching it. Yeah.
It's like you've played old school D&D games or something.
I don't know, man. Maybe once or twice.
Better gaming. Kill him.
So, does your band have a name?
No.
Metallic. I mean,
Yeah, Metallica.
I mean, we used to be called that, but now we suck.
Mm.
That's
I like
metagaming.
I like Vengeance of Verbobunk. I just came up with that on the fly. It's kind of has a ring to it.
No, we don't actually have a name of anything. We sort of started,
ADHD.
we started working together sort of by accident.
So, no company charter then?
Nope. We find it, we kill it, we eat it.
Literally.
Yes, boss.
There's that sarcasm
Greater
again.
good.
So you've been clearing the countryside of monsters and things.
Bandits.
Oh, bandits! I was going to ask about that.
Mm.
Word is that they're prevalent in this area.
Yes, there are many bandits.
You could say that.
Think we get 50 gold apiece for them, or is it
50.
what it is?
Yeah.
50 gold
Yep.
apiece. Yeah.
Oh, so
Some of them
you're-
are more than just bandits.
So you're accepting bounties on them.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Well,
Gotta eat to
There-
live.
they are wanted by the local authority.
Hmm.
Is he though?
Is anybody challenging his authority?
Burn? I thought the whole town was. They don't like us selling. Not really selling, but collecting bounties from Burns.
And yet they do nothing about it. Therefore, he is the authority. Until they do something about it, he is the authority.
I have to admit that you
I-
are
I
right.
Unless authority in human lands works differently than it does in dwarven lands.
No, it's the same.
As I get another drink.
Are any of you familiar with the actual local law on the books in this area?
And
We
they're
were
more like
approached by the
guidelines
council.
than actual laws.
We were approached
Mhm.
by the council and they want us to turn them in for justice, but we were hungry at the time too.
But
I
we were
understand.
hungry.
We did not eat any of the bandits.
Yet.
JB might have. He is fearsome and mighty, apparently.
Well, as long as
That's-
they're being brought to justice, I don't see anything wrong with accepting a bounty on them.
Well, they're made to work.
And that's the only punishment they get?
As
Hard
far as
labor.
we've seen so far.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Labor, and it seems that some of them made themselves work for the town, as I don't know what you would call it.
I mean, they're literally
a
part of
militia
Burns.
of sort. Yeah.
Yeah, they work for Burns Bandits.
Right.
I mean, Burns Badgers. Bandits. Burns Bandits.
Yeah, birds, badgers. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. They post punishment, they usually become members of the Burns Badgers. To what end? We'll find out.
Well, I don't mean to impose on your company, but I'm kind of down here for the purpose of dealing with bandits and various outlawry in the area. So, if you need another sword arm,
Hmm.
I am available.
I think you might be our first sword arm.
Really? But
You make a good point.
Yeah.
the darkened half elf there, I mean, from what I understand, he can't be beat at anything.
But he uses daggers.
Ah,
And let's be clear, we have stories to tell the yokels. That was a group effort.
of course it was. I can imagine that the healers in the group have made everybody presentable after an encounter with a wyvern.
And, you know, with the dwarf, they do the best they can.
I finish my drink, and I get another one, and I slam it down on the table and spill it over on JB's food,
Dang. Oh,
and go, "How clumsy of me, mighty one."
I ain't even mad. I could buy you a couple times over, sir.
And then I pick up his drink and drink it.
Your poached trout stuffed with herbs is just ruined, JB.
Right.
You'll just have to make do
now.
with
What do you mean?
the roasted goose that gets brought out.
Yeah, how terrible. JB suffers so at our hands.
It's true. You know what? Ever since our meat shield got beheaded, we really did need another one.
Mm-hmm. Bandits are one thing. I feel we keep forgetting about the bigger problem. The ones that are hiring them.
So you're saying there's a source of the banditry?
We assume.
Where might
we
this
did-
source be located?
We
And
found a
I'm-
hideout.
Really? And I'm gonna ignore my meal and sit forward. And could you tell me where that's at?
It's the moat house.
The moat house.
There's an old moat house. Was it north of town? Am I right? Is it north of
Yeah.
town? North
Yeah.
north of here, there is an old moat house where we have encountered bandits and beasts alike, and it seems like there is more to that moat house than it seems.
So when will you be heading back to this moat house?
Soon, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps
The longer we wait.
tomorrow or the day after.
There was one man who actually wore the symbol of what was it, Lilith? Or what was her
Loth.
name? Loth.
Law?
Yeah,
Loth,
symbol
yeah.
of Loth. That's a dreaded deity.
Yes, I think I've heard of the dark elves, and I'll acknowledge I guess it's JB's character.
Yep.
And
Well, I will tell you this as a DM. I've been sort of playing it that JB isn't clearly a dark elf. Like almost because it's like people don't expect it. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of one of those things that like nobody wants him to be a half dark elf, so they just assume that he's a dark-skinned half elf. You know what I mean? That's the way I've been playing it, because otherwise I'd have to have like screaming mobs like all on his ass the whole time. And
The hero of the wyvern battle?
well, like I was saying, I assuming that he is probably just a dark-skinned elf. I would say I've heard of these elves. I've never seen one. I've heard of various evil gods they probably worship. I don't know how weak those gods are. They must be awfully weak, because I've not heard anything too much about them. But
I assure you they are not.
I'm not really a religious man in that context. I'm more of the getting my point across with my cudgel type of holy man.
Good. That's what we need.
But I have a horse, I have a pack, and
Yeah,
just-
I remember the last one who had a horse.
just send me a
And the
a
horse he
message
rode
if-
in on.
I'll be staying here for the night. As I said, if you do intend to go to this moat house, that's something that I would be interested in.
I wouldn't argue with having another sword with us.
Absolutely not.
Sounds good.
Be prepared to leave.
Be prepared
Always.
to go in. Be prepared to go in first.
Of course.
Oh,
Hmm. I assume he's like the most armored out of all of us right now.
I would assume.
eh,
Is Roderick like? Is Roderick plated up, or is he just like?
he has
Uh,
banded mail, right? It's banded mail, right?
yeah. Suit of banded mail.
It's good armor for sure.
Okay.
I'm in splint mail, so yeah.
I have
Comparable.
like I say, a medium heater shield,
I have an armor spell that might be worn off.
and I'm big. I'll say that I'm not just a strong guy. I'm pretty strong. I mean, like I said, the armor has been adjusted to fit my frame.
He fits the perfect meat shield profile.
Nice. And considering
Alright,
the last
so-
meat shield tried to kill me, notice how
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
I'm being.
So you had a fighter that died on you?
We had to kill him.
He was
a
traitor.
It was an act of
He
mercy.
he was a traitor.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. He turned against us. on the
We left his head
first
at the moat house if you want
encounter.
to see it.
well, I'm not your common sellsword, which you tend to find in places like this. But I will join you to check out this moat house.
Cool. Well,
All right,
happy
so
to
are
have
you going to kind of spend the rest of the evening maybe just bullshitting, getting to know each other
Mm-hmm.
before ultimately kind of heading to your rooms and getting some rest with the
I think
intention?
so.
Are you trying to leave in the morning? Is that sort of your plan?
I would think so,
Yes.
unless somebody else has a reason not to.
Okay. Well, I'm
not
assuming
really.
everybody's all healed up. JB.
2 more days. Everybody should be healed. Full
Yeah.
heal.
Okay, just double checking.
Are you
One
gonna
would
go
hope
get your
by now.
dog?
Huh?
You gonna go get your dog, Ren?
In the morning.
Good
They
cannon
won't let.
fodder.
They want them. They won't let them sleep
Absolutely not.
upstairs with me.
Fodder.
Now, okay, is my room on the second floor or the first floor?
It is. All the rooms are on the second floor.
Okay, well, the dog can't jump that high.
All right, why don't we take a short 5-minute break here? We'll take a bio break really quick, 5-minute break, and then we'll come back on the other side of it and we'll pick up from that
Sounds good.
spot. All right, 5 minutes. 8:47, so 47 after the hour. So how's Cthulhu going, y'all? Everybody still alive?
We lost one. We lost one.
Did you?
Yeah, he's the second character he's lost.
Oh
Was
man.
Torny's lost. I'll put it this way. You've seen the Pulp Fiction scene where they're in the car and they hit the bump.
Oh.
It's kind of. He got in the back of a corrupt police officer's car, and that kind of happened.
Oh, that's so great. I love Cthulhu. I wish I could play that game. It's just the time doesn't work out. But I love Cthulhu, and I love Nick's Cthulhu. I think he does an awesome job. He's a great. What is a keeper? Yeah, he's a really good keeper. Keeps things moving. You know, it's just I think he does a really.
I gotta check that game out.
It's you know what, Pete. Cthulhu is so easy to play too. Like the rules are so simple. It's all percentages, and it's a really simple game to like. And you know, Nick runs one shots every now and then, even for North American. You should try to get in on one of those games because I think they're really good. I've played a few of them, and it's always been fun.
Yeah, I'm down. If the time works out, obviously, I got less responsibilities than you do, but.
The kid is getting a little bit easier to deal with. Actually, he's been going to bed pretty much consistently around 8, which has been amazing. Finally, you know. I mean, he's always easy. Like he's for a kid, he's really easy. He's like really good kid, but yeah, he'd been going to bed at like 9 or whatever. So it was like we seriously had to have like a sitter, like to ever play a game. Yeah. You know, like we couldn't do it. But it's starting to get to that point where if people are willing to wait till 8-ish to play, then I can, you know, get in. And I think that for Nick is actually 7, so it's not really because it's Central Time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's not as prohibitive.
Awesome.
So, does anybody else like a little bit off put by whatever is going on with Dom's video?
I don't know what that is.
Right, it looks like a profile of like a mouth chewing or something. I don't know what is happening right there.
I don't know what that is.
That's we're actually playing Cthulhu right now.
I don't know. This video might get flagged by YouTube. I don't know what the fuck is happening right there.
John, though, just to give you a heads up on how I'm playing JB, since half drow are pretty much non-existent because newborns are typically killed by one side or the other. He's got no cultural identity whatsoever. All he knows is that people look at him funny. And that's why he usually wears the hood.
Yeah, I don't know how it goes in Greyhawk, but they're half drow are kind of, well, I would say common in the realms, but
yeah,
they do exist mostly because they're not really killed off by the good elves. Once an elf is raped and it's kind of, you know, comes to term, they just kind of shun the whole family. They don't kill anybody unless you're from a wild elf group. They're a bit more unstable and they're not goody good like most of the other elves are. But
yeah.
I mean, drow elves are reviled on Greyhawk, but I you know, I kind of have been downplaying it a little bit just because, like, I don't want this game, and we talked about it in sort of session 0, and we talked about it beforehand. Like, this game was about playing this old school, awesome, fun adventure, not getting into all this like background shit. So I think it's just a fun little quirk, and
I'm just kind of playing it like, even if I know that's what he is, it's like I've never seen it. You know, I'm only 20 years old. just heard stories. You can, and being locked away in the clergy from a young age up. I mean, it's like I don't know what the real world's like out there. Maybe he's just a victim of circumstance.
Well, and of course, upon first meeting, learning that he's essentially a hero that killed a wyvern.
Yeah, of course, and the leader of a party of adventurers.
All right, so let's get back to it then.
So funny.
So all of you are, you've got your rooms and everything. Like you eventually retire and do whatever your evening absolutions are and all that.
Thank God.
And it's about the middle of the night. At some point during the middle of the night, all of you are resting in your various rooms or whatever. When I need to change this music here.
Here it comes.
Dragon
That's why we were
attack.
assigned rooms.
So,
That is why we were
so-
assigned rooms.
The
Tucktrin
Declaration of
and
Frank.
Brother Rygar, the two of you. Okay, Tucktrin, you searched the room. There was nothing untoward in the room. But the two of you are sleeping, resting, when suddenly you hear this loud crash, this like explosion of like glass and wood. And you wake up somewhat like disoriented and your room is on fire.
Holy
You see
shit.
that there's like basically a firebomb was like been thrown right into the middle of your room, like a couple of like essentially Molotovs, and like there's just flames everywhere in your room.
Okay.
Why didn't
what
I
did we-
learn create water?
I know, right?
Shit.
I don't have create water, but can I try to smother the flames? Or is it just too?
It's
that,
too
like,
big. Yeah, I mean it's just too much to smother the flames.
Did you pray for summon fire department?
Can we get our stuff?
I mean, I presume that your stuff isn't too like. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
I'll-
assuming you didn't move in and like, let me take out all my clothes and put it in the drawers, or like,
No,
you know. What I mean?
No.
I'll grab my bag, and I'll grab my bag and my stuff, and I'll, charge out of the front door and yell fire.
Boom! You run into the door and it's jammed shut, like it's
I'll run
locked
through
on the other
door.
side.
I will,
Yeah, I'll help him run through the door.
I will crash through that door.
Are you can try to go ahead and try to crash through the door. Go ahead, open doors. It's magically closed.
Oh, you
Okay.
sucker.
So I rolled a 4 out of 14, under 14.
What
Do I
is
hear
the
any of this?
there's a percentage, there's a specific number for magic doors.
Let me look it up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just going by what my strength score for open doors. But
yeah, I've got it. Let me see here. I'll do it real fast too.
okay.
Maybe
Is that a 20? Is that a 20-sided?
If it's, I don't know for magical. I know for non-magical, it's a strength check. Open doors, and you have a score. You just roll under,
Yeah.
just like you do for any check.
Open doors magical? You have to have at least 1891 to break open the door at all,
Nope.
and then you have a 3 in 20 chance.
So no.
So you you expect to go through the door. Have you ever done that in real life, where you expect like the door to open and it doesn't?
Yeah.
And you're just like, so you just kind of like crunch up against it, and like you just turn around. There's like whoosh, as like this big flame shoots up in the air. And Brother Igar, you run into the door as well with Tucktrin to do that. Both of you take 1 point of heat damage.
Okay. And I just say the door is sealed.
All right.
What are the walls made out of?
Wood
Just straight wood, like wood logs or planks?
planks, we'll say.
I have a
Okay.
question. Are we on the second floor?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, do I get to roll
mean, you have a
perception
window,
checks
too,
to see
of
if I
course.
hear
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
burst open, like it's totally broken open. Like there's
Yeah,
like
that's
glass
that's what's
over-
about to happen. So I'm going.
We're gonna go through the window.
I'm gonna run over. I'm gonna grab the mat off of my bed, jump through the window, so I land on it, kind of like a.
Okay, you grab the mat on your bed and you run over to the door. run over to the window, and you rush to jump out. So you're just gonna blindly just go and jump out the door.
I mean,
The
yeah,
window? The window?
it's on fire.
You-
Yeah.
You jump out the door, and arrows come firing out at you from the ground below.
That's cool. I got a big mat in front of me. Do I get partial cover?
I kind of like that you're even arguing that, brother. So I'll give you partial cover because I assume you don't have your arm. Well, maybe. Do you sleep in your armor?
No, that's ridiculous. I grabbed it. I have a hold of it, but I'm not going to cheese that. No, I didn't sleep by armor.
I'll give you partial cover.
Do I
Okay.
see the arrows flying?
I mean, yeah, like you see him go jumping out the window, and like arrows just start because some are probably gonna miss. So like,
I'll cast light 20-foot radius down there.
all right, let's see here. You have to see your target on the light, so you have to kind of find something specifically where you want to fire that light off to. You could literally cast light on.
I'll cast light on his mat.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. All right, so 6 arrows come at you as you jump out the window, as if they were
Ouch.
waiting for somebody to come out the window.
Well, yeah.
All right, so
This is going to be
let's
bad.
AC, maybe. That's not good rolls so far. One's AC 7, one AC 3. The AC 3 is probably gonna hit you.
I think they're all going to hit me.
That one is
Well,
not.
well, if I remember right, and you have to remind me, in second edition is partial cover a 25% mischance, right?
Is that
just
what
a
it is?
It's a static mischance. It doesn't improve your AC, I believe. Isn't it? Partial's
You know-
25, half is 50.
You know what? Let's do that because it would be 3 arrows would hit you. Let's go ahead and roll partial cover as 25%. You can go ahead and roll it.
Okay.
And we'll look up the real rule in between, make sure that we're right on that. That
Yeah.
sounds right to me, but we can confirm that. But I don't really want to spend a lot of time dicking
Right.
around with that. Well, that sounds
That's 25 on the dot. That's a 84, and that is a 46. So
okay. So
one-
2
one-
of the arrows strike
Yeah.
you. Oh, that's an 8 on that first die. That's what I'm talking about. And let's see here. All right, so you take 9 points of damage as a couple of
Okay.
arrows go flying into you, and then you take 2 points of damage from the fall as you crash to the ground below, and you see like basically on the other side of the street, across from the tavern, from the inn, are a couple of are a gathered group of archers. Make a perception check, and let's do it's night. Let's give it a -4 penalty
Oh,
because the
definitely
darkness.
not making that. Okay. All right. And it's got I rolled a 9, and I needed an 8, so I didn't get it.
Didn't get it. Okay. You see some figures, but it's really hard to sort of pick out
Right.
like any features from these figures. But I mean, it's like more than half a dozen. And after you come jumping out the window, okay, what do you do, Brother Rygar? You cast light. You cast light on the mat. Oh, fuck that. What am I talking about, Tucktrin? He cast light on the mat. So it's very well lit. So
So
like
I made
you
it.
land, yeah, you make it. So you get full perception. You see. Let me get a good description. Actually, you see the figures. There's a man amongst the group of them, amongst the group that you see, that's got like chainmail armor on. He's got a shield hanging from from one arm, and he has a morning star in his hand, and he's kind of like guiding the others. He's definitely human. He's got a helmet on. He looks like a kind of like a ragtag. I mean, you might say like high-end bandit or bandit leader or something along those lines.
Right.
The rest of the figures though are that you can see in this group are almost bestial in nature. They're humanoid in shape, but they're humanish, but they kind of look like this I don't know if you. I'm just gonna tell you. They look like they like got this fur and this and these muzzles that come down, kind of like hyena like in their appearance.
Right.
And they're
Okay.
kind of like barking to each other, like in this like yipping, barking laughter kind of thing. Go ahead, and I'll say make an intel check. Make an intel check and see if you know what these things are.
Okay.
Those are pretty common.
That'll be rough. Let's see.
I know, but
No, not at all.
you don't know. You're not really sure. Just in the hectic nature of all this.
We
Brother
don't have
Rygar-
these in the mountain.
Brother Rygar, you can make one too. Go ahead and make an intel check on this as well to see what these things are.
Rolled a 20.
Ouch. I rolled a 18. Hey.
Yeah, like it looks like you're over there. You're looking across. You look at them. Try to get a gauge of them, and you're looking over them, and it looks like this band of elves has come into the town. Like they're firing arrows. You're not really sure what the situation is between the elves and the humans of this town, but certainly it looks to you, Brother Rygar, as though the elves are mounting an attack against you all right now. Ren, Sir Roderick, JB, and Grey Ash, I'll make a Constitution check.
6.
I'm like magically asleep or some shit. Con check.
Constitution.
No, you're not magically asleep. This is just aroused from your slumber.
I
16.
rolled my
failed.
con exactly.
I got a 6.
I got a 5.
16. Missed by 1.
All right, so everybody except for JB, like, you're kind of like roused from slumber as you hear like you hear this like crashing sound and like some kind of like yelling from outside your window, basically.
Can I peek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I run over to the window and look out.
Do I?
Yeah, you
does it
see
sound
like
Does it sound like fighting outside?
well, it's not really fighting yet, but go ahead and everybody, anybody takes a peek, go ahead and make a perception check. And if you make the perception check, go ahead and make an intel check.
You see a giant glowing mattress when you look outside.
Basically, right?
Failed
wow,
my
I made
perception
both.
check.
Cool.
The mattress is too bright for my sleepy eyes. I can't see shit.
Got a 8 perception and failed the intelligence. Rolled an 18.
Okay. All right, so you see the figures. You're able to deduce what the figures are. If you made your perception and anybody make the perception and intelligence check?
Me, I did.
All right, Ren, you know these creatures. These are gnolls, and they are an evil band. They're evil and generally band together, and sort of a blend of hyena and sort of humanoid scum. Basically, the kind of thing that you don't really want to see. Let's go ahead and everybody roll initiative. Except for JB, who's sleeping in the lap of luxury right now.
And you know what? It actually makes some sense because JB is the farthest away from all of this happening.
And he's also like got a nice full belly, and like, you know, he
My
thinks.
initiative sucks.
I am sleeping the sleep of the victorious. I earned this.
Standard, it's just initiative is 3.
That's just your roll.
Just my roll.
Essentially. Yeah.
I've got a 6.
Oh, is this without weapon?
I mean, if you're gonna do something, at this point, this first round, like, if you're gonna do something
It still
like
sucks.
mechanical, yeah, it's gonna be +3 to do anything as like a medium-sized creature that's like normal. So if you want to like open your window, that'll be 3, +3 to your initiative.
Okay.
If you want to do something else, so like some stuff you could probably cast spells through the window, or you know, that kind of thing for the most part.
Okay,
I mean,
12
would-
initiative.
Oh God, Lord Almighty!
Just to open the window.
Well, maybe you're waking up from sleep.
What are your putting
Oh.
on armor rules?
Oh, yeah.
Lord Almighty, dude.
I mean, I basically have a chainmail suit that I put on and then strap banded on. So I don't know. I don't have the books.
I feel
right in
like
front of me.
chainmail is like 1 round, but then I think the other stuff is a little bit more. So, how about D4 rounds? We'll just do it quick, and then we'll do it quick and dirty now, and then we'll look up the real rules in between.
Okay.
D4 rounds to put
Which
armor on if you want to do
Kind of
that.
makes sense because you
2.
can put it on dirty and quick now anyway.
I rolled a 2 on the
Yeah.
4 side.
And that's with
So
leather.
2
too,
rounds.
right?
Yep, 2 rounds if you want for armor.
All right.
All right, what's Grey Ash's initiative?
Mine goes 12 because I can't really tell what the fuck's going out the window. So I'm just like got my staff, my stick in my hands as kind of as like ready to action to like leave my room and head downstairs and see what the fuck is happening.
Okay.
But initiative is just for because I'm ready to attack, I guess. I don't
Brother
know. what's going on.
Rygar, what about you?
It all depends. Can I stay in this? How long can I stay in the room?
You're going to take more damage this round. The fires are increasing.
Okay. I probably didn't have my armor on either.
Grab it and go.
I mean, I am willing to let you decide on whether or not you slept in your armor or what you have on you, but I think
don't-
it's really
yeah.
cheesy when people say they slept in their armor.
I don't sleep
But,
in the armor.
yeah, who would sleep in the armor?
So I
I mean,
guess
maybe-
I'm going to just get my armor and get out the window and put it on. It's going to take me 3 rounds to put my armor
So
on.
are you jumping out the window then?
Yeah.
And so what's your initiative to jump out the window?
It'd be a 3 then. If it's just
Well,
an
so-
action.
Well, it's +3. Medium-sized
Okay,
creatures
6.
do-
6.
Yeah. Okay, so well, Tucktrin, you're technically first at. Well, actually, no. I'm sorry, Sir Roderick. You start putting on your armor. Tucktrin, you got a 6. Was that just a straight roll?
That was a straight roll. So, because what I'm doing is, I'm gonna make the thematic assumption that I fall, I catch a couple arrows on the way down, my stuff's spilling on the ground, right? I mean, I've got like armor, I got a bag, weapons, so stuff spills. I'm gonna just reach down, grab my axes, look for a place to get behind something. Can I get around a building? Can I get behind a cart? Is there another building? Is there a door? Like, because I'm standing out here basically in my PJs about to get plugged with like 20 arrows.
Well, you're gonna hate me for this, but you're actually not standing. You're on the ground. It takes a
Okay.
round to get up in 2nd edition, unfortunately.
I gotcha.
So I'll let you pick up your shit and stand up. I mean, because I'm not gonna be a dick about it, but you do have to like literally
Okay.
stand up.
Okay, well then I won't
Or you
do
could
that then.
crawl.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crawl and heal myself.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, that sounds good. So what's your initiative then with the healing? Would be +6, isn't it? For
I believe so. Let's see. I believe so. Cure light wounds is Yeah, it's something like that. I'll find it here in a second. I know it's not right now though.
all right, that's fine.
5.
Yeah, you know what Cure Light
5, so
Wounds
you're at
is?
11.
Five casting time.
Yeah, 5. Uh-huh.
So I would go on 11.
All right, Brother Rygar, you go leaping out the window on 6. You go leaping out the window. Roll dex check for me. See if you can land on your feet.
That's a 14 and my dex is a 13.
Oof. All right, so you go crash into the ground. You take 3 points of damage. You're on the ground. Tucktrin and Brother Rygar, you start crawling away, Tucktrin, and the bowmen actually pull out swords and start running towards you. They start running towards you guys. But you notice as Tucktrin, as you start crawling, that there are actually 2 human warriors wearing scale mail that were like on the ground, and they had flattened themselves up against the building. And so like when you like they were basically waiting down at the ground for people to come down at the ground level, and they're
I got you.
essentially coming at you. I'm just gonna say 1 coming out at each of you all.
Okay.
So real quick though, Gray Ash, describe to me. Are you leaving your room and going downstairs? Is that what you're trying to do? Trying to get out?
Yeah,
All right,
that's what I'm doing.
We'll say it takes you 2 rounds to get out to the front door. How about that? So this round and the next round. All right. Brother Rygar, Tuktrin, the two of you, one of the human warriors comes running up to you. One each. And they are wielding long swords. A couple of rag tags. Both of you can make a perception check at a -4 penalty while this is happening.
I
Got
failed.
it with a 4.
Oh, that is so funny. You got it with a 4. Okay. Brother Rygar, you notice that they have bands around their arms that indicate membership in the bandit crew that operates out of the moat house.
Oh, hell no.
Does AC 5 hit either one of you?
Unless I get a bonus for actually being on the ground, I am AC 10.
I'm AC 10 as well.
Okay, so you each get slashed with long swords.
Mhm.
All right, and Brother Rygar, you take 7 points of damage as the blade slices into you. And wow, Tuktrin, you also take 7 points of damage. I rolled 2d20s. I rolled the exact number, the same for both of you, and the same damage. That's very strange. And then the gnolls are coming running up, but they're not actually going to attack this round. They'll attack you next.
It was nice knowing you guys.
Hey, assassination, man. You fuck with these people, they come back at you. This is the lesson learned from these guys. They don't mess around. All right, so that was at 9, actually. Tuktrin, at 11, your spell was disrupted, unfortunately. So you were trying to cast your spell, and your prayer is disrupted as the blade slides in and out of your body. At 12, Ren, you open the window.
Okay. and I'm not going to put my armor on yet. I'm going to shoot from the window on my.
You see this?
at
It
the end of
looks
the round.
like Brother Rygar and Tuktrin are not. They're in trouble. You know what I mean? Like they're in trouble. They're getting. You see these gnolls are rushing up on them. They're getting ready to be surrounded. They don't have armor on. Gray Ash, you go running down the stairs. Did I miss anybody? Roderick, you're putting your armor on.
No, but
Is
the
anyone
team is
in the
missing
downstairs
two.
area of the bar?
JB, make another Constitution check.
Like, is there any townsfolk in the downstairs of the
I'm
bar?
about,
Is it
I'm
like
about,
Three.
yeah,
I'm
I'm
awake.
about to
Yeah.
get to that. You're awake. All right, so you're awake. You
Yay.
hear this noise, JB, and you can look out the window and you see what's going on. You know, if you choose to look out the window, or you could just roll over and go back to sleep. I mean, it's really your choice. I mean, that would be a pretty JB move. I'm not gonna lie.
He
My
messed
room
up my
isn't on
meal.
fire.
Yeah, he messed up my
Listen.
meal.
These people staying alive helps keep me alive. Okay, so I can. Well, okay, so from the window. All right, I'm looking right now. So I got the window out at the front. So everything is sort of happening in front of me, so to speak.
Yeah,
not-
it's all like right in front on the ground level there. I mean, well, it's not really in front of you because it's more like all the way down at the other end of the tavern or the inn, because like it's literally the exact opposite, opposite side. I mean, it's on the same. You're still on the southern side of the building, but
Yes.
like it's on the far side of the southern. It's
Yeah,
the
that's-
eastern edge of the southern wall, and
So
you're
I
at the
gotta.
western edge.
I can't look straight out. I'd have to lean out and look to the left to see what's happening.
Well, you look out and you can see. I mean, I feel like Tuktrin probably got a little clearance. I mean, I know he's a dwarf and he has short legs, but he probably jumped out a little bit. And Brother Rygar like fell and stumbled, so they probably have like 5-7 feet of clearance between
Okay.
the wall and themselves. And then you can see like these gnolls rushing at them.
All right, so the gnolls are rushing at them, not at me.
Oh no,
Okay.
You're up in the build. You're in
We're-
your nice room, man. You're like chilling.
I'm gonna climb down the wall and see if I can get him from behind.
All right, so you have to open your window though.
Okay.
So you're going to spend your turn opening the window. All right, so let's go back around to the top of the initiative once more. Brother Rygar, you have rolled a 3.
Should I roll initiative this time just to know where I go?
Yeah. Yep,
Okay.
yep. Good point. Go ahead and roll that now, actually.
Right, 4.
How many of them are on me?
This round there is going to be 4. I'm going
Just
to rush this round.
4 on me.
Yep, 3 gnolls and 1 human.
I'm casting I'm casting Hold Person.
Okay.
The effect is centered on a point selected by the caster, which is let me see. In a 20-foot cube, it does 1d4 persons. And I'm going to try to get...
What's your casting time?
My casting time's a 5.
All right, so you're going to go on 8.
Yeah.
Roderick, your armor will be on at the end of this round, so you'll be done with your armor by the end of this round. JB, what would you like to do?
Climb down. Well, I'm opening the window and then
opening the window. So opening the window is your action for this round. Dom, what did you roll for? You had a 6?
I had a 6. Yep.
What is that? A 9? And what would Gray Ash? You'll make it to the front door at the end of this round, so you'll be out like to the street. So at this point, all of you hear like bing 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 bing. You start hearing these like bells ringing through. As you can see, like there's a fire now on the southeast corner of the second floor of the Inn of the Welcome Wench, and so it's calling out the fire brigade. There's also some people like in the tavern who are kind of like are looking out the front like, what the fuck is happening right now? You know, it's the middle of the night, but a couple people, you know, a couple of like late night barflies are like, you know, kind of poking their heads out. But for the most part, it is pretty deserted at this time of night. Yeah, well, there's some other stuff that's happening that you can't really see, but all right, so Tuctrin, you're up next in terms of what you want to declare your action.
Okay, so I guess I didn't get to really move, and I didn't get to really cast a spell.
Nope. I mean, well, you moved some. You could say where you moved to half movement.
No, I mean it's fine. There's nowhere to move to, so
nowhere good.
So I'm just gonna randomly just pick up an axe and try to swing it at somebody.
Well, you have axes. Oh yeah, that's right. You because you had your axes and. Well,
oh yeah,
okay.
So I'll just swing at them. Yeah. So that's gonna put me at a 13.
13, and you're on the ground. I'm not really sure. I can't recall. Fighting prone. Maybe if you could look that up a little bit while I'm working on this next. While we get to you, Ren. What are you going to be doing this round?
I'm just going to shoot with my bow through the window if I can see. So
yeah,
that's
you can
going to
see.
be 14 initiative then.
14. All right, Roderick, you get your armor fully on, and JB, your window is open, and Brother Rygar, as the beasts are getting ready to attack you, from the ground, because you're still on the ground, you cast Hold Person. Your spell goes off on 8, and they go on 9, so you're very lucky. Go ahead and roll a d4 and see what that's going to be.
That's 2.
Oh, that's good. Good. And
2 people get a -1 penalty to their saving throw.
Hold Person in front of me so I can look at it. Hell, man. But get this again.
And the saving throws are adjusted for wisdom.
Yeah, it doesn't look like these gnolls are that wise. All right, let's see here. Second level pre-spells, hold person. 24, 6 round, 2. Yeah, okay, good. All right, 2 of them freeze in place. 2 of the gnolls, we'll say, freeze in place as they're running at you, and then the other 2 come to try to hack at you. The human and the gnoll. This will be the human. He's slightly less effective, and he actually hits you with his longsword. And then the gnoll with his battle axe, AC 8. So I think that's good enough actually to hit you. So this is gonna be bad, man. 10 points of damage total.
That's -6.
Fuck. All right. Fortunately, those 2 are still frozen. And then Tuctrin, the 4 that have you surrounded.
Yep, that's a wrap.
Chop you to bits.
Yep.
Oh, well, the first 2 miss. That's pretty good. Yeah. All 4 miss. You're like rolling around on the ground. And like they're just
I cannot find the rules for fighting while prone, only casting spells while prone. The only thing I found is a one person referenced a -4 penalty. I could just cast a spell instead. It's the same initiative. Actually, it's 1 earlier. I mean, either way. I mean, I'll attack, but or I'll stand up, or I don't know.
I would assume it's like disadvantage or something.
Yeah, there's no disadvantage. I mean, I can take a -4, I guess. I don't know. I can't find the rules.
Seems harsh.
I mean, it makes sense. I'm fine with it. I can't find the rule on it.
-4 though. That seems crazy. -4 is a heavy penalty for combat.
Yeah.
Like that's a really heavy.
And I don't have a DMG on me right now, so.
I'm gonna say -2. I'm gonna give it a call. I'm gonna call it a -2. If that's too harsh for you, though, and you'd rather have cast a spell, I'll give you the opportunity to change whatever, or stand up, whatever you want to do. Just because we didn't have it defined well before you chose your action. So what would you like to do?
I mean, I would have, well, I mean, you know, I said I was going to attack. I'm going to attack. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go back.
Okay.
Because now that I know the 4 missed me and I can cast a spell, that's kind of cheesy. I'm not going to do that. So
I know, but I trust you.
Do it. I'm going to attack the guy with the longsword.
All right.
That's on me. So, so can I like maybe swing from the ground and then use half my movement to stand up, or is it a full round to stand up?
I mean, unfortunately, the rule is literally you have to take your full round action to stand up.
Okay, so I'll just take the -2.
Yeah, I mean it's brutal.
All right, that is a AC 5.
That's good enough. That's going to do it. He has scale. They're wearing scale mail, and they have a shield. He has a shield.
And D8 + 7, so 14.
Describe your kill.
Oh, okay. So
he has 7 hit points, so like he's dead.
So I'm like flopping on the ground, dodging all these attacks, and I just have my action. I just roll over and just kind of bring it right up into his. I would say his stomach, because my arm's not long enough to reach much higher than that. So I'll just catch it. I'll just catch him in the midsection with it, and just spill his guts.
All right, yeah, he collapses to the ground and holds his belly. So that was on 13. Well, technically 13. And at 14, Ren!
Shooting out the window. Whatever I can see.
I mean, you see...
Closer to the boys, the better.
Yeah, I mean, the Brother Rygar has fallen. You see he's surrounded by 4 figures, but 3 gnolls and 1 human, but the 2 of the gnolls are frozen in place. But he's dropped to the ground. You can see that Tuctrin is fighting for his life on his back. He killed off one of them, but he looks like he's pretty cut up. He's not super healthy either.
I am bleeding a lot.
Yeah,
I'm not going to give you a 2-hit penalty if you want to attack anybody that is fighting. That would be the one advantage to being on the ground. I'll let you attack those who are on Tuctrin without any penalty, without any called shot or anything like that, without any danger to Tuctrin, if you would so choose.
Yeah, I'm shooting one towards them. What? Great. AC 8. I didn't hit, did I?
Nope.
Oh, well.
Go ahead, do your second shot. You get 2.
Oh, I thought it was at the end of the round.
It's essentially the end of the round right now. Everybody's already gone, so.
Okay. Nope.
I mean, you're so far on the bottom initiative that... Okay, a couple arrows go flying by. All right, so we're back at the top of initiative, and there's a lot of bad happening, but there's some good happening too. So Roderick is now armored.
Actually, can I ask you a question real quick? And I know this probably doesn't apply, but do I get multiple attacks if I'm on the ground?
Why wouldn't you?
Okay, so I have my end of the round attack then this round, or for that round.
Wait, didn't you already do 2 attacks?
No, I just attacked once.
Oh, you have 2 weapons though, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I get my offhand, and then
but
next
both
round I
of
get 2 and then 1.
No, when you're dual weapon attacking, you get both of those attacks.
Okay,
now.
I wasn't sure if I wouldn't get that on the ground or something.
It's
You're
your
rolling.
3-2. It's your 3-2 specialization. That second attack from specialization that gets at the end of the round. But your 2-hand weapons, those both go at the same time. So take your second attack. I'm sorry, I thought that maybe you missed or something like that.
No, I got you. So this one will
go ahead,
be,
take your second attack.
So, 18 on the die.
Oh, that's great.
Plus 2 minus 2. So 18. So
yeah, that's
AC
good enough.
2.
AC 5 for them. So the gnolls are I don't know what armor they're wearing. It doesn't really say, but we'll just say that they're like mottled armor and tough skin.
Okay. 11.
Motley armor, I mean. 11 points of damage. Let's see here. Which one are you attacking? You're attacking number 6, who has 9 hit points. So yes, you can
take his leg. I'll take his legs.
Oof. You can have a gnoll haunch for dinner if you choose, or breakfast. So yeah, he goes falling to the ground. There's 2 there.
Okay.
Let's see here. All right, so now we're back around to the top of the round. Brother Rygar down. Sir Roderick, what do you want to do?
I'm rushing down the stairs and charging out into the fray.
Okay, so you're gonna do like I'll say if you take a full round and really rush, then you'll get down to the door. Get down to the bottom floor, front door, ready for action next round. So you'll take this round to get downstairs. JB.
All right. Windows open. I am going to fire at the human near Brother Rygar.
Gotcha. Give it a shot.
Right. Rolling dice ever since I found out I was still asleep to see who's behaving today. 18.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah.
And damage.
Good hit.
Roll high, man. You got a good shot at killing this guy, so.
And I got 1d6 on the arrows.
God, are you seriously still fucking using flight arrows?
Yeah, I thought we gave you.
All right.
Sheep
Let's say I
arrows,
gave
dude.
you. I'll buy you the sheep arrows.
All right, then 1d8 on those. Let's see. 8. Nice.
There you go. All right. Well, describe your kill then.
As this jackhole is standing over Brother Rygar, all of a sudden an arrow comes down, hits him on the side of the neck and out the other side. He starts bleeding from both ends and just drops.
There you go. All right, yeah. So his blood mingles with the dirt of the track below him. All right, so that was on. Well, actually, technically, that would have been on. We probably should have waited to go to that, but we're declaring actions. You would have gone a little later in the round, but that's fine. Tucktrin, more killing stuff.
I'm
or
the group
spells?
leader. I should get something.
You know what? I'm gonna go because that's one human, one knoll on me down. I'm gonna try to chop at the other knolls. I'm just gonna keep chopping.
All right, and
I'm kind of in a fury right now because I don't even know if healing would help me at this point.
Ren, what are you doing? Are you continuing to fire arrows out the window?
Yeah.
Grey Ash, you have appeared at the front door. You can see what's going on. There's a few people now, and you can now see like a bucket brigade is like rushing towards the scene. You also noticed. Go ahead and make a perception check, actually.
Roll over again.
Okay, so you don't notice the important detail. But what are you going to do this round? Well, your die roll is a 9, right? So like you're.
Yeah, I rolled 9 because I assumed I'd see like gnolls and people fighting out here.
Yeah, you see them. Yeah, you see this.
I see them. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
rolled
what do
to
you wanna
cast sleep on them.
So is that an initiative modifier of a 1 on sleep?
Yeah, sleep is
Okay, so you're
casting
gonna go
time
on.
1.
You'll go on a 10 then.
10.
I think that takes us through all. Yeah, you rolled a 9, right?
Oh, the 8. The 8 was the die roll.
Oh,
Plus
8.
1.
Okay. My apologies. I had
The
you
only
at
thing,
12.
the only thing I see with prone is that the defender has an attack roll modifier +4,
Hmm.
so they're +4 to hit the people that are prone.
Yeah, because we're keeping the.
Oh, so
same
it's
roll,
easier for them to hit you.
Yes.
So there doesn't really say anything specific about how you would attack someone
Yeah.
else.
It says defender stunned or prone +4. But
I see.
initiative modifiers, if people are on higher ground, like in the windows, they get a -1 to their initiative.
That's actually a good point. I hadn't even thought about that. Higher ground. That's a good point. All right. So, regardless, well, that's good actually because that makes sense. That means JB would have technically gone first, so you'd have got a -1 to his initiative. He would have gone on the 8, so it actually all worked out anyway. Grey Ash, you go ahead and do your spell because it actually goes simultaneous to these to what's going to happen next.
So I'll roll my 2d. So it affects 4 hit dice worth of monsters.
You rolled a 4.
Yeah.
It's 4.
Just
4 hit. Okay.
Spell affects 4 hit dice of monsters for 5 rounds per level, so 10 rounds.
What do you
30 yards.
So there are 2 gnolls on there are 2 gnolls currently on Tucktrin, who's lying on the ground. There are 3 gnolls standing over Brother Rygar, but 2 of them seem frozen in place. The other one has an axe in hand and seems to be contemplating taking that axe down onto Brother Rygar.
It's a 30-yard range. Could I get like one of each group?
What's the okay? So 30-yard range, but what's the area of effect?
All creatures affected with the sleep spell must be within 30 feet of each other.
Yeah, that's close enough. Yep, you could do it.
Yeah, I'll get the one that's written next, and one of the two that's over the other guy.
All right. Well, it looked like he was about to cut off Brother Rygar's head, because that's literally what he was going to do: is cut off Brother Rygar's head and hold it in the air. But fortunately, just as he's about to do that, he's like got the axe up, and he's like, and he collapses to the ground, as does one of the ones on Tuctrin, and suddenly Tuctrin, lying on the ground, battling against what was once 4 opponents, now faces yet but a single gnoll. As another one falls down next to him as well.
I have no idea what just happened. I assume JB just assassinated him somehow. I have no idea how this guy just.
That's the story that will be told.
Yeah.
Anyway,
disprove that.
Yeah, from the shadows, JB has assassinated.
Okay, so that was on 9, and then the gnoll that is okay. The sergeant, actually, the other man.
Right. Make the roll.
He runs away, but nobody's gonna see him.
Okay.
Actually, I'll say Ren and JB, both of y'all make perception checks -2 penalty. You're engaged in other combat, but just so you can.
-2.
Yep.
Got it. I rolled a
Got it.
9
6.
plus the 2. Yeah.
So plus the 2 would be 8. So I saw.
Mine's 11. My perception is 12.
All right, great. So you two see the man wearing the chain and the shield. He abandons his charge and goes running off. He was kind of farther back anyway because the gnolls had run up from him. So he goes running away. He was maybe like 30 feet back, but he goes running like in amongst the buildings, escaping.
So I didn't get a chance to shoot him or shoot at him.
He
Longbow?
technically goes on a 9 to go running.
Okay.
I'll say you could still get a shot at him at long range if you want.
Can I?
Whose turn is it? Me or JB's.
Technically, it's Tuctrin's turn first, but I actually got to give him the gnoll that's attacking him on the ground. Takes one last swipe at him. And now I'm going to give him... Oh, hell yeah. Nat 20.
Oh, there's no point in rolling unless... I think that's it.
Oh, man. $12 damage.
Yep, done.
Are you dead?
I am at -9. I had 3 hit points.
You're -9.
Plus 9.
If
Is that
somebody can
dead?
get to him within a round, -10 is when you die.
Oh my days.
Actually, Brother Rygar, you do lose a hit point this round. Because you're bleeding. Bandaging is automatic, though, so actually Grey Ash could run over and bandage Ductrin. All right, so let's get to... Yeah, Tuctrin doesn't get to make that attack. I think only person left is Ren. Sir Roderick, you're going to be down at the stairs, so you actually probably see this at the end of the round. But you see Tuctrin, like you see Tuctrin's like literally on the ground, and in one of the most unchivalrous, dishonorable things, this gnoll just chops down into him with an axe on the ground. But go ahead and make you can take both shots, Ren.
17 plus 2, 19.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. A long range, I believe, is a -2 penalty to hit, but even still, you're plenty fine. You're
I would
fine.
say that got him,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, then I just won't have. I guess I don't have high ground.
Oh, no, you do have high ground.
So that would cancel out.
Yeah,
then,
cancel out.
17.
That's right.
Oh, shoot. Hit him for 2.
2 points of damage.
Oh, 19.
Oh, all right. This guy's going running. The arrows are shooting into his back as he's running away.
Hopefully my hit's a little bit better here. 8.
Oh,
That's
8
10.
points of damage? Nice.
Well, yeah. Overall, yeah.
All right. Well, you see him like you look at just see him way distant. He's like, puts his hand into his back, and he still seems like he's up, and he moves behind the buildings too far off. You can't see him anymore, but you definitely did some serious damage to
But
him.
now he's marked. We can find him.
Yeah, I say blood trap.
And after he answers our
Track.
questions, we can finish the job.
Is that it, everybody? All right. So Roderick, you get down to the doorway. You see Gray Ash is there. You can see again. Tuctrin is down. Brother Rygar is down. There are 2 gnolls still standing. Or there's 3 gnolls still standing. 2 of them seem like they're literally frozen like statues, standing over Brother Rygar's body. One is not frozen. He's standing over Tuctrin, a bloody axe in hand. What would you like to do this round, Sir Roderick? Finally.
I'll
Down at the battle.
charge the knoll.
Okay, so you're literally
Standing over
going
a
to charge?
Tuctrin. Yeah,
okay.
I'm raising my shield and I'm just going to charge him.
All right, what's your initiative modifier?
I have a. Would that be reaction adjustment? I have 0 reaction adjustment.
It would be the speed factor on your weapon. What kind of weapon are you using?
His
I have
body.
my body.
Oh, you're just trying to use a shield. You're just trying to shield
I'm
bash?
I'm charging into him with a shield to knock
What's
him out of the
speed
way.
factor on a I think a shield is 3, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. We should look that up. Because the timing's not going to matter because you're going to beat the guy no matter what, unless it's more than 5. Arms and equipment guide, weapons. Let's see.
I will say that as I approach him within 10 feet, this takes effect. He is there's a protection. There's a protection from evil within 10 feet of me, so
Right.
he immediately knows if he's evil, that there is something affecting him, and then he's -2 hit. Kind of acts like a protection from evil spell for everyone within that 10-foot radius.
That's awesome. All right. Yeah, I don't know what the speed factor on a shield is. We'll look it up. I'm just going to call it. I'm just going to call it 3 for now. Might be more.
Okay.
So you're going 6. Let's see here. JB. Your die roll was a what? 4?
Die roll was a 4. Yeah.
All right, JB. What do you want to do this round?
Um,
You see the 2 frozen
Who's
gnolls.
left?
You see
Okay.
one other gnoll. You see Sir Roderick is now like hauling ass across the battlefield, shield in hand, running right at the gnoll that's standing over Tuctrin's bloody body, bleeding body.
I see the guy going, but I don't know him well enough to trust him, so I'm gonna aim at the guy who's trying to kill my boy.
So that'll be that's not a 9 for you because you're not 5 on initiative. You have a modifier, so you're like that's probably like a 7 for you then, right?
Yeah.
He has a +2. Or
Yeah.
a -2.
What are you doing, Gray Ash?
I'm not sure. It's like, can I bandage someone without any medical? Can I make an unproficient?
Anybody
medical?
can automatically bandage. Bandaging is everybody knows how to bandage,
Mm.
to stop somebody from dying.
So Roderick is charging the guy that's over the guy that is bleeding out, right?
Mhm.
But I don't know what to do.
Do you want to essentially delay your action and wait to be ready to bandage Tuctrin as soon as you can?
There's no other enemies in that area, right? It's just there's It's
There's
kind of
that one,
area is-
and then a little further away are two gnolls that seem frozen in place, standing over
Okay.
an also bleeding Brother Rygar.
Yeah, I'm gonna just rush then. I'm gonna rush to the one that's like basically run ahead of the guy that, well, keeping pace with the guy, Roderick, to try and take care of the.
Right, you're hoping to help Tuctrin, essentially.
Yeah, I want to do like medical thing. I've got cloth and rope or whatever.
All right,
I
let's
don't know what I
see
can do.
here. I mean, you can. It's like a makeshift bandage, basically. I mean, you just do it.
Okay.
I don't get into the technical stuff about that. All right, so Sir Roderick, you're first.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shield bash him as I run forward. I don't. What would be the damage for charge attack?
I know you get +2 to hit. I'm not really sure what.
Well, my strength gives me a +3 damage bonus. Period. And I guess
Would
clubbing
it
him
just
with the
count
shield.
as like a non-proficient weapon attack? I don't know. I don't know how shields work.
It's really my body. It's held up against me. I slam into like a football player.
Yeah, the shield bash is almost like punching. Like it's considered you're proficient in it. Like everybody is essentially. Anybody that can use a shield can use a shield as a weapon without any penalty. It's like a.
Was that then D4?
I think it's a
strength?
D3 damage, isn't it? Like a D3. Does that sound right to you guys?
D3
I can't
doesn't
find
exist?
it. I only it's in the arms and equipment guide. Doesn't have the wet damage.
No,
Yeah,
good.
I think it is because I think a spike shield is a D4 +1, so I think it's
Yeah.
like a D3. I think
I
so.
feel like it's a D3. Like that. I don't know. Like 30 years of playing this game, it's like that's the number that's sticking in my head for some reason, but I don't honestly know for 100% sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. 3 + 3 damage. That's 6 points plus. A 200-pound man hitting a gnoll. Does he move? Is he away from the? Is he away from the dwarf? Is what I'm asking. I'm just trying to knock him as far away as I can.
Yeah, we'll say you knock him asunder, and essentially force him to engage with you in the combat. You do a nice bash. Like he was you actually essentially hit him from behind because he was like standing over Tuctrin. You go rushing up, you bash into him. He turns around like right as you're like rushing at him. He hears the sound of your armor clanking, and I don't know if you have like a battle roar or something like that. But he hears you approach. He turns at the last minute. You just smash into him with the shield, and before you know it, the two of you have sort of created your own circle of combat that you and he mano a mano, giving Grey Ash an opening. But before that happens, JB.
Well, now that the person who was an immediate threat to my friend is no longer an immediate threat to my friend, I'm going to stay my bow and climb down the wall so I can assess the rest of the situation. Because I don't see the two gnolls that are unmoving as a threat right now, but I see that my guys are currently bleeding to death, and they need more attention.
Well, yeah, your brother Rygar ain't looking too happy.
Nope.
So you can take the entire round to climb down the wall and do your climb walls and you take no damage, or you can jump off. Do you have tumbling?
That's a good question. I don't think I do.
A heavy shield counts as a one-handed weapon.
Nope. I've got tightrope walking, which I don't think applies.
I love it how they say a heavy shield. There's literally that's not a categorization. There's large shield, medium shield, and small shield. Like it's like that's one of the problems with second games. I just like.
Well, I would say a medium heater shield is, I don't know, maybe 3 foot long.
It also says you lose your AC bonus with that.
Yeah,
when you
for
use
one round. For one round.
Yeah, it comes back right away.
Yeah.
Well, I hit him from behind, so.
All right, so JB, are you climbing down carefully.
You know what?
Okay, so
You know
here's
what? I'm
here's
gonna-
what I was going to tell you. You can
Okay.
climb down carefully, take the round, do your climb walls, take no damage, or you can jump down, and if you make a dex check, you'll land on your feet, and you could still potentially bandage Brother Rygar
Yeah, I'm gonna jump
this
down.
round as well.
What
All right,
else
go
am I
ahead and
gonna
make it.
use? What else I can use is 18 Dex 4. Swear if I roll a 19. 1.
It does say,
Oh, perfect.
wow. It
So
does
I
say
land-
1d3
I
for
landed.
light.
Literally right next to him.
It says 1d3 for light shield.
1d4 for heavy.
Those don't exist. It's small,
Yeah.
medium, and large, and buckler.
Yeah.
There literally is not a light
And your
or
spike
heavy
and your spike
shield.
does 1d4 and 1d6.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so somebody who did just put that in there. All right, you know, David is awesome at finding this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So it's a D4 for medium shield. It's a D4 actually.
Okay.
So you can re-roll your damage if you want, or we can just keep it.
Just
Totally
keep it.
fine.
And it's only 1 point difference.
All right, so the JB, you jump down, and I presume that you bandage Brother Rygar.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're stop bleeding, but you're still at your negatives since you
Okay.
haven't been healed. That was at 7. At 11, Greyash.
How far apart are the two groups
Uh,
fighting? Are they in the same general area?
Yeah, they're like 10 feet, we'll say.
So they're within 10
me
feet of
to-
me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Just wonder-
So they're all impacted by the.
If they're
protection
evil, they're -1 on their attack rolls, and depending on their level of evil, if they're directly opposed from me, they actually get a sensation based on how evil they are and where it's coming from. So they would immediately.
That would be chaotic evil. Would be the ones that would have that sensation.
Well, any evil will have different varying degrees of sensation, but if say chaotic evil would have the most, I guess, violent, they would
Profound.
they would-
Yeah.
They would,
Well,
but all
JB
evil would know immediately where it's coming from.
You hear that, Pete? Anyway,
Oh, I heard.
all right. So, Greyash at 11.
Do I need to do anything to stabilize? Was it just like that's my action stabilizing?
Yeah, if you're gonna, I just want to make sure that you actually do that because otherwise, Tuctrin's gonna die.
Yeah, I'll spend my action stabilizing him, and then
Alright.
like I want to, if I got any movement after doing that, like once I know he's stopped bleeding, I want to try and get to Rygar as well, or like get ready to go there. If this takes the whole turn.
Okay. The knoll that is on that Sir Roderick just attacked as well. He runs.
Mhm. Okay.
Roderick, do you have a sword in hand?
Yes.
You can take attack of opportunity if you want to attack him in the back as he runs away, Paladin.
No. I will shout at him.
It is evil. It's evil.
I'll yell at him. Change your ways.
I'll just yell coward. But as he's running, I assume I'm still standing over Tuctrin. Since I kind of hit the guy there. If he's running, I'm just going to is there no other opponents? I'm just going to drop the sword and shield, immediately drop down, put 2 hands on Tuctrin, and lay on hands for 4 points restored.
Awesome. Yeah, we have a house rule here that when you heal somebody, you either heal them whatever amount you roll, or they're healed to 1, whatever's better.
Yeah.
Whatever's
well,
better. So
don't
he's
really-
at -9. You would only take him to -5, technically speaking, with your lay on hands, but he goes to 1.
Yeah.
He basically goes to the brink of
But
consciousness.
yeah, it gets rid of the negatives when they're in that
Yeah.
situation. But yeah, I don't really roll. It's
Yeah. I love
It's
lay
a-
on
it's-
hands. Great.
it's a
Mhm.
amount heal.
2 per level. All right. So yeah, Tuctrin, you you awaken to find this like glowing halo of light surrounding Sir Roderick as he stands over you or kneels over you. The shining light of Saint Cuthbert emanating through his being to bring you back from the dead.
Hmm.
So
Or the near dead.
I immediately sit up and just have like this like raging scream of just pure anger. And I just look at Sir Roderick and I look at him and say, I thank you for the blessings from your God. Clanganen will put his blessings upon you as well.
Perhaps
And,
he should put his blessings upon him, and I'll point toward Rygar laying on the ground.
Yeah, I will scramble over in that direction.
So there are two frozen
Yeah, I got time
gnolls,
for that
and
right
you
now.
can see like they're just kind of like their eyes are like twitching just like a little bit, and like their hands are kind of starting to not really fully move, but just like a little bit. Like maybe Brother Rygar's magic is starting to wear down.
Right. I gotcha.
Now, yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
can I take actions this turn?
Well, I'm just saying JB is literally standing right there.
Oh yeah,
so.
JB, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to slit one of their throats immediately.
JB just goes up and just like,
Yep. We got
I mean,
it.
everybody sees that. I mean, it is a gnoll, but
Doesn't bother me at all.
no, I wouldn't presume it would. All right, so at this point too, like the bucket brigade arrives, and you see the gnoll that's running away. Because at this point into the area, several of Burns' badgers come rushing in, armored and everything, and they go chasing after the gnoll that's running off.
Bit late.
And several others kind of move into the area to secure the area, so to speak. And simultaneously, from the other side of town, some militiamen start appearing to control the area, and tensions begin to arise while simultaneously the bucket brigade starts trying to put out the fire. So it's kind of chaotic at the moment. The one gnoll bleeds out, but there's one that's just frozen there, like standing there. And then of course there are two others that are lying on the ground sleeping.
Are we still in initiative?
Not really.
Not.
You guys
Okay,
just
like,
tell me what you
I-
want to do.
Is the
I
one,
stood up
is
throw
the
to
one
the sleeping
standing
one
there
that's
have a
by
weapon
me.
in his hand?
Okay, you
I-
coup de grace.
Yeah, I'm just gonna heal Brother Rygar and myself.
Can those communicate?
Yeah, they can speak. They're intelligent creatures.
And we should probably keep one of them alive. Not necessarily undamaged. Which I just thought of after I killed the other one.
Let me ask. Let me check in here. Ren, what do you want to do? Because you're like up above now. There's no enemies really. To kind of go after. What would you like to do? You see, there's a lot happening on the ground. You can actually kind of get a good view of it. You look down. There's waters. The end of the Welcome Wench is sort of being evacuated. So you hear like banging on your door. Wake up! Wake up! Fire! Fire! Wake up! You hear like yelling, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, I walk out the door. Is there actually a fire at the end of the hall, or is it still contained into that room?
It's predominantly contained to that room. They're struggling to get the door open.
Oh, shit.
It's
Mhm.
magically locked. So
All right, I jump out the window.
all right.
I do it the easy way. I lean off the window and just drop down.
Okay, I won't make
I'm
you
not.
take
I'm
any
not gonna.
damage then.
Oh!
I will tie up the held gnoll that's still alive, I guess.
Okay, great. All right, so
button its
JB's
legs and
like
the
standing,
hands
like yeah,
and all that.
JB. I don't know if you want to help him because they're the two of them are right over there. There's one sleeping on the ground. He's like snoring loudly, hyena-like.
Well-
That was the one that was literally about to cut off Brother Rygar's head.
And Brother Rygar, you're at 9.
Okay.
Mhm. As I'm tying this one up, I'll like motion to the others, like, do you want the honors or me?
Oh no, if I get over there, I'll help tie up. We got 3 down.
No, I mean,
No,
to
I don't think
Rygar,
that's
to
the kind of honor.
to the sleeping one.
Yeah, we're talking about a coup de grace, not a prisoner in this particular case. But I still
Yeah,
think
the
we should
held one
keep
I'm doing
of
as a
them alive.
prisoner because
I will help tie him up. I'm not gonna kill helpless.
yeah.
I will.
I'm not arguing that.
That's
I'll
fine.
tie him up and let.
All
you
right,
have
so
him.
brother, Pete or JB, are you gonna kill the other one that's sleeping then, and just tie up the one?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, one of the militiamen. There's a lot of chaos going on. Actually, they're not even paying any attention to that right now, because they're like basically in a pissing match. The Burns Badgers and the militiamen are like in a pissing match over who's going to control what situation, while the vengeance of Verbabonk is attending to the real issues at hand here. You do get one of the gnolls though tied up, and you have sort of control over that gnoll. The rest of them are dead. The two humans that the guards are also dead. The ones that had the bands that indicated that they were part of the group, and the bands have the familiar symbol of believe. Hold on one second here. I believe that I gave you guys the flaming eye, which is handout 4 if you haven't seen it, but it's basically looks like an eye on fire, like on this band. It's kind of crude, but they have these like red bands with this eye on fire on their arms. We're about out of time. Is there any last things you want to do? Because we're gonna just sort of pick up like right here, but we might kind of talk a little bit in the chat just to kind of wrap up any things. But is there any major things you want to do? I'm going to say you have a null prisoner.
Mhm.
There's a second level spell slot cast. Does it act as 2 cures, like Cure Light Wounds, which is first level? Or does a second level slot can be burned as just 1 Cure Light Wound spell?
No, it wouldn't be a Cure Light Wounds. I think it's Cure Moderate Wounds is the second level spell from Spells of Magic.
Okay. What
If
is
I'm
it?
not mistaken.
Is that 2d8? Or
It's 1d10 plus 1, I think.
I'll look that up during my off time.
Yeah, it's I'm really fast at this kind of stuff though, actually. So here. Cure Moderate Wounds, second level necromancy spell. It is
I can't use it.
1d10 plus 1.
I
It's
can't use it.
Healing. It's
Okay.
healing. It is 1d10 plus 1, as I recalled.
Nice.
What is healing?
We're
in
not
necromancy?
using spells and magic for like the rules, but I am allowing the spells from spells and magic. So Cure Moderate is the second level spell, healing spell that they added from spells and magic, and like I said, it's 1d10 plus 1.
I got 9 for that. That
And John,
brings me up.
this won't pertain to you too much, but I have this house rule. It is essentially that a priest can take any spell that they have and automatically substitute it for a healing spell of the same level. So that way that priests don't have to be heal bots and memorize only healing spells for the party. So that's what Nick is doing right now.
I'll remember that at 9th level.
Yeah, I know. It's a long way away. It won't matter much to you. All right. Well, look, without further ado, if you guys want to do anything else, just let me know. I'm going to calculate up the XP for you guys right now. It's always fun to finish up with XP.
Yeah, I think we'll just make a note that we're going to be searching all of these things when we
Yeah.
start next time to see if there's any clue as to where specifically they came from.
Yeah, it's
We know,
weird
but they
because it
don't.
doesn't say what their personal treasure is, but it's got. I mean, they have treasure.
I want to know who the
So-
fuck locked that door.
Other than that, being a man of the people, as Cuthbertines are, I'm going to actually help with the bucket brigade and put the fire out.
That is very nice. All right, 66 plus 25.
Have fun with that.
Plus 24. I love the old school adventures because they're like, they don't just say like it's 100 XP for this monster. They're like 56, 52, 48, 48, 48, 46. Let's see here. This is actually not a terrible amount of XP. It's
Did
all
any
right.
of us that looked out at the beginning of the fight to see what was going on, did we notice that there was somebody in charge?
It seemed like that sergeant who ran away, the one that ran, that pelted with a couple arrows as he was running away, as they were running away. That guy seemed to be giving orders. You can decide whether or not that means he was in charge.
That tells
But
me
that
he
person,
knows.
but that person we saw is not on the battlefield anywhere, dead or anything. It's gone. He's run off.
Yeah, he got away. Yeah, he ran away. He got
Yeah,
away.
he got hit, but then he ran, if I recall right.
All right,
Is he-
so
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Is he recognizable from the guy that I commanded back at the moat house?
No, it's not that guy. All right, so it's 78 XP for the combat part of it. But it is
70?
78. But it's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 hit dice for those who collect hit dice XP. 16 hit dice.
This
And there
is the
will be
kind-
some treasure, a little bit. I mean, it's not going to be a lot, but it's going to
I
be a
was
little
going to
bit.
say, this is the kind of a session where y'all catch up to me.
Yeah, well, that's what happened.
No.
Remember, for hit dice XP too, this is just something, it's 10 XP per level. So when you become second level, that means you get 20 XP per hit die.
I know.
But I just want to make sure, some people don't know that as well. I want to make sure people understand that, though, just because, that is that is why JB runs circles around everybody early on in levels, but then people eventually start sort of catching up a little bit.
You're doing
But yeah,
base session XP or
yeah, that's what I'm going to give you. So I'll give you all. That was pretty. That ambush was pretty cool. I'm going to give everybody. 200 XP. As a base. I'm going to give everybody 200, and then I'm going to give everybody 50. On top of that, as a welcome, John, to the campaign. Thanks for joining us. So 250 base each for everybody on top of that other stuff. Do we want to nominate like an role player of the week for a bonus 50 XP on top of that, or we'll say a bonus 100 XP since you guys are second level now? I'm gonna give a role playing bonus to somebody.
I'll go
Or,
Sir Roderick because he came in the door. Saint Cuthbert Paladin. 100%. Pretty much.
I thought John did a great job as well. Any
Yeah.
others, or are we kind of in agreement on that?
Sounds good to me.
What's your level, John?
What's that?
What's your level?
John
level
started
2.
base second level.
Level 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All right,
no,
so you get another 100 XP as well for kind of the role-playing star of the game here. And of course, everybody keeps track. You keep track of your own individual XP. I'm not keeping track of that for you. And one other rule we have, a house rule that we have, is you get 25 XP every time you use a proficiency, a non-weapon proficiency. So keep that in mind, John. If you used any non-weapon proficiencies, then you can give yourself 25 XP per.
All right.
All right. Anything else, guys? Or we'll kind of call it quits from here, and I'll kind of assume that you have a prisoner, and we'll sort of start. Everybody's gathered together, very grumpy, probably, with a null prisoner that is nice and tied up. Sound good?
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody good for 2 weeks?
All right,
Yes.
good for 2
Should
weeks.
be.
Yep, every other week. We're pretty consistent. We've done a really good job. Yeah, thanks everybody for playing, and for anybody who watched and tuned in. We've been getting, people been watching. So it's awesome. Thank you for doing that. I always put the link to our Discord too. So if you want to join our Discord, please do. There's other OSR games happening as well. And so, happy to connect you. Either maybe there's no space in this one right now, but there's other games that I'm aware of that I can help you get into a game if this is the kind of thing that you like. So feel free to join our Discord, which is mostly run by Nick. And we'd be happy to have you. But guys, thanks so much for playing. John, thanks for joining us for the first time.
Sure thing.
And I'll see you guys in 2 weeks, and we'll talk about all the little things in between sessions this week and at this time in 2 weeks from now, including the flutes, what's going on with that short sword for JB, and the treasure from these guys. I'll figure all of that out for you and have that for you before we play next time.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Take care, y'all.